as they light the flame. Cigars in hand, never playing tame. Pour the whiskey, let it burn real slow. On the Real Smoke Pod, cancel stories flow. Guess they're rolling with a spark in their eyes, talking life's truths and throwing lies. Laughter crackles like a fire alive. Cuba to Kentucky, they always thrive. Real smoke rises in the air tonight. Whiskey's bold, they keep it tight. Stories spark like a flaming glow. Mick and Charles stealing the show.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. It's more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 49 of the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your host. That guy over there, I got it right this time. Hell yeah. That guy over there, that's Mick. I'm Charles. But before we kick things off with another fantastic show, let's listen to our sponsors, the Cigar Vault, Oakdale.
The Real Smoke Podcast is brought to you by the Cigar Vault, Oakdale, your ultimate destination for premium cigars and unforgettable experiences. Whether you're a seasoned aficionado or just starting your cigar journey, they've got you covered. Find them on Instagram at Cigar Vault Oakdale or online at thecigarvault.com. Here's a treat for our listeners. Use promo code REALSMOKE to save 10% on your next order. Let the Cigar Vault Oakdale unlock your next great cigar.
And you should definitely go do that and definitely go use that code because you can find some fantastic, amazing cigars over at that shop right over there. What's up, Mick?
Not much, buddy. Speaking of Cigar Vault, if anyone missed it, there's a nice new birthday boy 5-pack over at Cigar Vault. It's a pretty incredible pack. Man, he's always on cue with those posts. I wasn't prepared for this. I just wanted to talk shit. So for Charles's birthday, they're hand-selected, hand-curated by Charles himself, the birthday boy, for an episode 50 coming up soon. We have the Crown Head Broadway, the Rojas Street Taco, the Cavalier. It's a limited edition, I believe, the 25, right?
It
Knuckle
is.
Sandwich Maduro, and then the Patina Sumatra. I think.
Sumatra. Oh, I love that cigar.
Great cigar.
The Oro, it's between that one and the Oro is my favorite, but man, I liked Patina. Love Mo. Mo is one of the best people in the world. But I liked Patina when I tried, some of his other brands. The moment I tried that Sumatra, I fell in love with Patina. So Patina Sumatra.
Same thing, man. I love both of them. The Oro de Nicaragua, I think, just takes it a little bit for me, but they're both freaking incredible. You can't go anything wrong with anything from Mo.
I completely agree. Really quickly, one more time, just putting this back up here. That is the 5-pack. That is the place to go get it, and that is the code to use. There are 5 of those 5-packs. Each one of the cigars, I got told I needed to go in, and I need to go pick 5 cigars from Cigar Vault to pick in there. There were so many cigars, but talking back and forth with Mick, these are the 5 that I came up with. Let's see. Not next week. Next week's a bye week. The week after that will be our next episode, episode 50. Wow. It's also at my actual birthday. So before my birthday, let's get all of those 5-packs sold. And if you get them all sold in the next day or so, I'll see what I can do about getting a few more made up and see if we can get a few extra out there. But let's do some birthday buying. Okay.
Absolutely.
I did post in the video. I had a great idea. Just because I had a Mick moment and couldn't speak worth a damn. I'm going to start doing that in the weekly video. I'm going to ask a question and everybody can come, and that'll be the first thing that they can post in the comments is the answer to that question. So I asked everybody, because I couldn't speak at that moment, what has been your favorite Mick moment? 49 episodes. There's a few different times you probably could have picked. There's a running one that got everything started. I know that one. That's probably still my favorite, but I'm sure there's a few good Mick moments out there.
Last week definitely had to be in the top 10 because that whole cigar was made with tobacco I could not pronounce. So thank you, Mel, for that. Damn it. But yeah, let us know. I'm sure it's all pronunciation related. Mitch
is on here. He says, "Happy Thirsty Thursday." Happy Thirsty Thursday, bro. I'm having a problem. Let's see. Mark's on here. He says, Mick moments, his pursuit of cereal soup.
Yeah. Or today, shout out to Big Al for the gorilla comment that he put out there today that I reposted. That's good time.
He also says, "What's up?" Let's see what else. Jerry's on here. He says, "Hey everyone, not sure we've seen Jerry before on here. What's up, Jerry?" Let's see. Brent's on here. He says, "What's up, Mick and Charles? Just having another great Thursday, hanging out with my buddy. About to pull in an awesome guest here in a little bit, but just having another fantastic day." Mitch says, "Being able to survive meanwhile in Memphis." That's true. And we have Cigars with Angel says, "What's up, everybody?" So once again, the question of the day I posted in the video is, while we go through the beginning of this, we'll answer whatever y'all have before we bring on our guest. But if anybody has any favorite Mick moments, post them in the comments.
So aside from that, how's your week going, man?
Next week is fall break for our kids. So, my business, I always close down that week anyways. So we had an idea of what we were going to do. Now we have no idea what we're going to do. We don't know if the last few months have just been so hectic that we're just going to crash for a few days, or if we're actually going to go do something. So my week has been pretty much just getting the business ready to be off for a week. And then getting everything ready for this. So it's been pretty good. I mean, it's busy as fudge.
Yeah. I feel you on that, man. Work has been insanely busy for me as well. And, you and I are both working hard on some behind the scenes podcast stuff and making sure all this continues to flow in the right direction. I will say sports ruined my weekend. The Phillies losing 2 in a row, Penn State sucking ass. Penguins saved the day on Tuesday. They actually looked decent to start the season for one, so I'm happy with that. But the Phillies, I will let everyone know.
I was about to say, how did they? They kind of looked good the other night.
They're only up 1-0 right now in the bottom of the 7th. So I'll be watching out of the corner of my eye a little bit. So if I look distracted, I'm really not. I'm just keeping an eye on the score. But they're trying. I know our guest tonight is from out that way, so I'm interested to see what he says when he hops on, if he cares about baseball at all. But yeah, it's sports kind of ruined my week, my weekend at least, and leading into the week. So yeah. Speaking of the weekend, I did want to mention that the Middle Tennessee TriStar Herf is this coming Saturday, 10/11, at the Humidor in Murfreesboro, and the TriStar Herf Crew cigar made by Cavalier will hit the market at the Humidor in Murfreesboro. Sorry, had some geese there. Did I lose you? Did you lose me? Uh-oh. Is Charles frozen? He looks surprised, like permanently surprised. I think it's him this time. Well, this could be interesting. I hope he gets back on here because I can't control the next segment. So, can someone? There he is. Oh, that's Jesus.
I might be back. Nope, I'm not. Maybe I am.
You're back. You're back. Holy shit. I was like, I can't control anything, so this might get interesting. I'm just going to sit here and bullshit.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to ask on the Phillies game, what's the games? I mean, who's got how many games?
The Dodgers are up 2-1. The Phillies are winning 1-0 right now in this game, so it would go 2-2 back to Philadelphia if they win.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Nothing like a heart
It's,
attack on that one.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But as you were frozen, maybe you caught the start of it. I was mentioning this weekend at the
There we go.
Humidor in Murfreesboro. I was talking about that a little bit. I don't know if you caught any of that, but hopefully it went out to everybody.
I did
else.
the first part of it. Yeah, we have the TriStar cigar coming out. I heard you say that one. It is from what I hear, it went over well. They have quite a few boxes that were sold last night. So I can't wait to go down there and try it. I'll be there. I think it starts at 3:00 in the afternoon. So I will probably get there a little early. I'll coordinate with you and see what time you're going to head down there, and I'll meet up with you, and we'll go down there and hang out. And if anybody's going to be around the Murfreesboro area and you want to come hang out with us, come show up. Humidor, downtown.
Short trip from Nashville. So come see us.
A lot of people on here. Hello, fellas. Frozen. Charles froze. Yeah, we know. It's getting about that time. Favorite Mick moment. Love when Mick mutes himself because of the geese and street racing. You forgot to add gunshots.
Facts.
Rob says Matt Booth calmly explaining to Mick that cereal is not a soup. Yeah, that was very much not calm. He got irate and quick.
If we do happen to make it to PCA this year, I'm going to walk up to him with the portable setup for video recording and ask him the same question, then run off into the crowd. That's my plan. So stand by.
No, I'll hold the recording and then let you go up. That way he can chase you.
Perfect. Love it.
All right. So anything else going on this week for you? Mine was just work. That's it.
Me too, man. This honestly, besides our Tuesday night herf and this, man, it's kind of the highlight of my week, my weeks lately, because I really don't have a lot of me time lately. It's been a lot of work and a lot of craziness, and yeah, I feel you. I know this is a little off subject. I did just book a trip to see the in-laws down in St. Pete for a week over Thanksgiving.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited about that one. So I will be probably shooting live from the beach for one of those episodes we already have booked for the week after Thanksgiving. So you can use that graphic you've been holding on to for a long time. Just letting you know.
Oh, that would be great. I get Chris to come up with a few more. We'll figure out something. All right, so let's go ahead and move into the cigar that we're smoking. So before we do that, let's go ahead and bring up our sponsors, and it's going to be 13 Knives.
Hey boys and girls, I wanted to read you a story about the three little cutters. Once upon a time there were three little cutters. Daddy Cutter, Mama Cutter, and Badass Bulldog Cutter. And Daddy Cutter came out in 2020, and some people thought it looked too much like other cutters. A year later, Mama Cutter came out, and some people thought it looked like Daddy Cutter. Given the times, oh well, let's be original. So in late 22, Badass Bulldog Cutter was born. Badass Bulldog Cutter is a cleaver-style cutter with a bottle opener made from 1095 high-carbon steel that I get right here in the US of A with US source materials. And those who have bought the Badass Bulldog Cutter have lived happily ever after. So quit looking for your glass slipper and buy yourself a Bulldog Cutter.
Quit looking for that glass slipper and get you a Bulldog Cutter. So the cigar that we are smoking tonight is...
So all day I've been trying to look up pronunciations on this, and I've got 6 different ones. So I'm gonna shoot from the hip here, which is everyone's favorite part. And Jeremy can correct me in a minute. The Wildfire Cigars Arteas, probably way wrong, but I'm trying. I heard someone say Artois, which I think is totally wrong. Wrapper, Habano, Nicaragua, Oscuro. Binder, Indonesian. Filler, Nicaraguan, Jalapa, Condega, Esteli. Price is right there on the screen. And again, that is brought to you by 13 Knives. And you can find this cigar at Cigar Vault Oakdale.
Ooh. Can you really? Can that be something that they use the code for that has been on the screen previously?
It's very possible, yes.
It's very possible, yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. You know, you never know. All right, so we're about to bring on our guest tonight, and our guest is brought to you
Step
by...
into the world of cigars like never before at Destination Cigar Lounge, home of the exclusive Allegory cigar brand. Whether you're kicking back at Governor's Crossing in Sevierville, Tennessee, or soaking up the rich aroma at Almost Havana in Hurricane, West Virginia, every visit is an adventure. From top-tiered cigars to expert recommendations and a laid-back atmosphere, it's the perfect place to relax, connect, and enjoy the craft. If you are looking for bold and unforgettable flavors, escape to the world of Allegory cigars. Kick back with the rich Mexican San Andres Dividend. Enjoy the smooth intrigue of the censored Sumatra, or fire up the bold and flavorful Escape Habano. For more information, you can follow them on Instagram at destination_cigars, or you can explore more by visiting them online at destinationcigarlounge.com, or take a journey to one of their 3 locations in West Virginia and Tennessee. No matter where your cigar journey takes you, every blend is an experience worth savoring. Where the road ends, the perfect smoke begins at Destination Cigar Lounge.
And just like that, we'd like to welcome to the stage the one, the only Jeremy McDonald, Wildfire Cigars. What's up, brother? You're on mute.
That's right. You told me to
Ta-da!
unmute it. I'm frozen.
Let's no, what? Oh, sorry. Let's pretend that it was my fault. I didn't tell you.
Okay.
We'll
man,
blame it
you
on
guys
me.
really need to tell me, Charles. Man, if you had just told me to unmute, I wouldn't look like such a dumbass.
Man,
And speaking of,
it's all my fault.
How was that pre-show pee? I had to ask you. Was it great?
It was satisfying. It was satisfying.
Awesome.
I do the same thing like before my band plays, right? It's like we do sound check and they're like, "Where's Jeremy?" And then I'm in the bathroom and I'm like, "I'll be up there." I'm getting older. My bladder is just not what it was, you know.
I feel you on that. I usually have to dip out for like a second during every show. I usually about the hour mark or so. I'm like, all right, I'm getting one quick one in. I'll disappear for a second, but it's all right. Charles covers it. It's all good.
It's all good. I can usually keep going, but Cigars with Angel says Mick likes to freak out when Charles freezes, and he might have to take over the show.
I'm cool with taking over the show, but I don't have any buttons. I can't even bring our guest on. Like I'd just be sitting here talking to you guys for 2 hours, and it'd be stupid. So that's why I was freaking out. I have no buttons.
He's got no buttons. He can't play with buttons. He likes to push buttons. He just can't play with buttons.
So he's like,
so let's talk. It is
like he didn't tie him.
So
he's got the Velcro.
That's right.
No, he's got the slip-ons. What are you talking about?
Slip-ons. That's touche.
See, look, he's got his Crocs on.
I do. I'm on the porch, man. I ain't going nowhere. I don't have to run from nobody up here, I don't think.
So let's find out how well Mick said the name of the cigar, because I know this is a cigar that everybody mispronounces, and you really don't care. But we like the whole running shtick with Mick is Mick can't speak worth shit. So if it's not basic English like it, the, than, and the, I already said the twice, but
time out. I could say wonder. I could say, damn it, I wrote the other one down too. I could say all the other ones you have except for this one. I'm like, why is this happening to me every fucking week? So go ahead. I'll feel bad.
So we all like to play, have fun with it. So it's usually one of those things. If we have a guest that comes on that's got something that the name of something is just wild and out there, he's going to have to say it at least 20 times on the show just so we can see how it upgrades and updates and stuff like that. So what are we smoking?
Well, it's funny you say that because like I've been a cigar smoker for I've been in the industry and been around for a while, and I hate brands that I can't pronounce.
My man.
And so the funny thing is like I had a name. I was calling it's Arteois. It's not Artois or Arteus. So backstory to that is it was called, originally I was going to call it Kodiak, right? Because it was a bear on the front. And then I got a cease and desist, I can't use it because the dip. And I was like, oh, duh, of course I can't. We're in the same world. So we really wanted to use the bear imagery. So I just started like Googling stuff, right? Like what could I find? And the Gaelic, the Greek bear god is Arteus, that like the Big Dipper, and that the constellation. So there's like a Greek mythology that uses it. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll just use that. And I didn't even think about that no one would be able to say it, including I had to learn how to say it. Like I was like, Google Translate, tell me how to say this word, right? So I did the thing that I hate, but like I kind of like it.
Really quickly before we go on, Jennifer says, hello all. Hello, my love. My beautiful wife happens to be watching probably the first time she's ever watched the show, but she's on here. So hello, my love.
Hold on, I'm gonna get all fancy. We have a woman in our midst.
Uh-oh. We usually have quite a few women on here. But yes, you might let's fix the beard and let's all look all pretty and okay. So now we're sophisticated. So going back into that name, I like the idea that it's a name that's a little bit harder because it really becomes a conversation starter because somebody has to look at it and go, okay, so how do you pronounce this?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and at the trade show the past years, I've had like a big bear in my booth. Right. So like one that you can put on, but it's a full, like, furry costume type thing. And so I would have him displayed.
So you have furries at your booth?
I might. And I've been known to get in the bear outfit as well. But we named him Artie the Bear, right? As Arteus, it's Artie the Bear.
I like the name. I think it's pretty cool.
When
I like once you said how it say it. I like the way it sounds.
So I was actually pretty close with my rendition, but that one lady online, I think she was from Scenic City, Charles. Video I watched because they're like, how do you pronounce this? So I like watched the video and she says Artois, and I'm like, no fucking way. There's no way it's pronounced that way.
Most people have said it that because they think it's like French, and I'm like, this is not a French word, like at all. Like it's, but maybe because that's common in French, like the iOS or something. I don't know because I don't speak French.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't speak English.
That gibberish.
Well,
I speak American. I'm just kidding.
So we're gonna go back into learning more about the cigar. So let's go ahead and get into where we usually like to start things from. So first off, where did you grow up?
So I'm out in California. I was born in California, Orange County, so Southern California. So, Sublime and the riots and all that kind of stuff. That's my part of my lovely childhood. And my family is all from Montgomery. My mom and dad and my grandparents and cousins and such. So it was kind of every summer we would spend it out in Alabama, right? So that's kind of home too, because like, I feel like it's a part of me there. So it's like I'd go to like, the South for the summer and everyone's like, oh, it's a kid from California who skateboards, right? And then I'd come back here and I had picked up the accent because it's real easy to slide into that draw. And then everyone's like, where are you from? And then as I got older, like I had I stopped shaving and grew a beard, and everyone thought I wasn't from California before it became like a trend. They didn't realize I just gave up and I grew a beard because I just didn't want to groom anymore. This was not a fashion statement, but now it's just part of me. Like my two daughters my oldest daughter is 22 and she's never seen me without So it just became part. But yeah, so like Orange County, born and raised, grew up here. I live in Orange County now, and yeah, I mean, like, it was a fun time growing up here. Like,
let's talk about that. So what was it like growing up there? What was you into? What kind of kid was you?
I mean, I was your typical like Orange County skater, punk. I started playing bass guitar when I was like 12, and then started a cover band with my friends, which was horrible. We were called Insanity, and we were a metal cover band. And I don't think people would have been able to recognize the songs we covered, not because we made them our own, just because we destroyed them. But, we'd have friends over in the backyard and like, yeah, so we would skateboard all day. This was my every weekend. Go to the liquor store, buy a 6-pack each of Jolt Cola, skateboard all day long. And then my friend, they had like modified the garage. And so he lived above the garage. And so the garage became like the band room. And then we would play music all night. And that was my entire junior high and all of high school. Like, that's all I did. Go to shows, play punk rock music, have fun, and skateboard. And then I left to go to college, and that was a whole different world. And so the skating, I gave up the skating as soon as my body started changing, and it hurt more when I fell.
So I've got to go in this. You talked about skating, Jolt Cola. How old are you? What year was you born?
79.
Okay, so I'm 82. So Jolt Cola was a big thing.
Okay,
I didn't. For me, I wanted so much to be into skateboards. My first skateboard was a little learning board. It had Joe Cool on it, Snoopy on there.
Mm-hmm.
Was a huge Snoopy fan when he did his whole, back in the late 80s, they did the Joe Cool era for him. Could not get down a skateboard. Transition, soon as rollerblades came out, I was like an ice skater on that shit. So I was on rollerblades for the rest of the time until I realized that my knees and hips hurt really bad. And then I quickly gave up rollerblades. But we would go rollerblade on basketball courts and do pickup basketball games on rollerblades. It was great.
That's fun. Yeah, basketball courts were always fun for the slick, for rollerblades, skateboarding, whatever.
Handball courts were the best because it was finished concrete, because it was kind of like in its own little cage, but it was finished concrete. So you go in there and basically play handball, but you was more checking your partner or your buddies into the concrete walls, like demon style hockey. So I love that.
Yeah,
I grew up. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I don't think there's any. I don't know where there's any handball courts. I don't think that's such a West Coast thing. Maybe it is, and I just never knew.
I was in Central Florida at the time, so we were in a really bad part of an Orlando suburb.
Yeah, I used to skateboard a little bit too, but I got terrible knees, and it started catching up with me way earlier than it should have in life. And but yeah, man, I remember those days too. It seems like we all had very similar childhoods. We'd find a school on the weekends where they had basketball courts and sidewalks that connected everything, and you just go out there and find ways to ramp stuff and have fun with it. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good time, man.
It's amazing to think about like the stuff I used to try to do. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, there's a set of 14 stairs. Let's jump it. And like, I just, it's unfathomable to me the amount of like injuries I obtained or watched friends break bones. And it's just like, yeah, let's go. Oh man, he broke his arm. All right, I'm going to try it now. Like, it's wild to me to think about it. And now I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I step
Like,
out, step out of
dude.
bed wrong now, and you're like, damn it. I think I'm paralyzed.
I don't even have to step out of bed wrong. I just have to wake up. So let's go into music. Yeah, let's go into the music part of it. You said you were how old when you actually started, playing music?
I think by the time the first band I was in that like had an original song, I think I was 14.
Nice.
And then I went to school, and this kid came up to me who was a grade above me, and like at that point I was into like just punk rock, right? And he's like, hey, you skateboard, you want to come to my band is playing tonight? And so I was like, oh yeah, I'll come. And so me and my friends went, and it was a hardcore punk show. So, and it was like my whole world changed, because I was like, this is entirely different than skate punk and like what all the stuff that you end up seeing on the Tony Hawk's like skate videos, like all that music. Like, but when I saw the community of like hardcore punk, and like it was a bit more brutal, but like all this angst and people were actually cool, it
Right.
like it changed the game for me.
All right, so you can't say who was on your playlist, because playlists didn't exist back then, unless you had a mixtape, or you were able, if it was late enough to start burning CDs. So you're talking about the bands that you were listening to. Who was on what we would call now, who would have been on that playlist?
I mean, they were almost all demos, you know what I mean, of local bands.
Nice.
I remember at one point I had like over 350 demos of like just local bands. So it's like I'd go, it didn't matter if I dug the band or not. If we were at a show and they had a demo, it was usually like $3 to $5. So you'd buy it just to like support it. So I had just accumulated, my playlist would have been, once I started getting, I didn't really start buying albums. I mean, I had bought a few, but I didn't start buying albums till like CDs. Like I was on demo days because I couldn't replace any of that stuff on CDs. So it took me a while to like, make the jump. But I mean, like bands back then, I mean, like, on the punk side, I loved like, Pennywise and NoFX. Like that's just West Coast, like punk rock. And then, but then I loved New York, like hardcore stuff. So I loved like bands like Snapcase and Earth Crisis. And they were like a lot of straight edge bands. But it was a whole different, like those were actual albums I had. So yeah, just all angsty stuff, being a teen boy, not knowing what to do with yourself. So let's just be angry. Even though I wasn't an angry person, I just liked it.
So I've got an interesting story, but it makes me want to ask you, going back to some of the demos, whether you got it like at the local record shop or somebody was just coming through throwing tapes at you or whatever. Is there any like demo tapes that you got that you listened to and then you realize 10 years later they actually made it big?
I wouldn't say like radio level big, but it became a running joke between like friends that if you had me play guitar in your band, not as a permanent player, but I was a lucky charm that as soon as I left, you would get signed. And that happened we got 4 or 5 times. So some of those.
Oh, we've got to go into that.
So I became kind of like none of the bands while I was presently in it. Like we would play with bands that were up and coming and did make it like bigger. But like, some of the bands, it's like, oh, I need you to fill in on a show, or can you do this little weekend tour with us? And I would do it. And then they're like, oh, we should have you be in our band. And then it wouldn't work out. Right. And then all of a sudden they would get signed. So it was just a running joke. Like I'm the lucky charm, but I actually get none of it, you know?
Oh, wow. When I was in high school, I was in some club in high school, and we had to go to Nashville. It was either Nashville or Lexington. It might have been Lexington. But we had to go there for some kind of conference or whatever. So around midnight, we start hearing down the hall running footsteps, and we hear bang, 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 bang. And it's getting louder and louder as it goes down the hall. And it comes to our room, and it's like police style, boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, this tape slides up under the door. So we're like, okay. So we look out there, we just see people running for the stairs. So I get the tape, and it's a regular tape, like, you know, really cheap done tape with a cardboard wrapper around it with a sticker holding it together. It's a black smiley face with X'd out eyes. And, you know, I started listening to it. Then it's like, yeah, this is junk. I got rid of it, threw it away. The band was Disturbed.
That's funny.
I would have had like their original tape that they were literally sliding under. What they were doing was going from hotel to hotel, knocking on doors, sliding it under the doors, and running out.
That's some guerrilla marketing right there.
It is.
And actually, I do. Now that you say it, there is a demo. So there was a band that was really popular, and they had just done like only like a demo or an EP, and they were called Inside Out. But the singer Zach De La Rocha started Rage Against the Machine. So so we would see Inside Out play, and then Inside Out broke up, and then I think it was Irvine College or whatever demos, and we go to see, and everyone was kind of like, this is like rap rock. It's kind of cool, but I don't know how I feel about it, because we were like all like, you know, it's not straight hardcore. But then lo and behold, in less than a year and a half, Rage Against the Machine was, you know, came out with their full length. So that was a cool, like, yeah, like I get, or kind of like discovered before they, you know,
right,
did what they did in the world.
So before we move on, let's talk about some of those good luck charms that you helped out with. What were some of the experiences with the bands that you just happened to get to play with, and all of a sudden, you know, they get big and you're going, where was I?
I mean, it was more of a comical thing, because like when I graduated high school, I went on tour with a band that wasn't mine. And that was the first time. It was a band called Stairwell, and they got picked up, and they put out, you know, they didn't get major label, you know, success, but I mean, they put out multiple albums, toured, had a good run, had a song on like How I Met Your Mother, you know, like, so like they got some moderate, like, and so it was like, that was the first. And then the members of that started another band, and then it was like, hey, can you fill in, or do you want to join? But like at that point, I had already figured that I didn't want to live in a van and tour and like have that life. I just wanted to play music, but not have to rely on it for like income. So I was down to play with anybody, but not as a member. So it just became this kind of running joke, like, hey, have Jeremy play a few shows, and you know, and then we'll get signed. And so there's quite a few bands, but they, you know, we're all moderately, there's smaller indie labels, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen Cake, but they would be cool to see.
Bro, that's my favorite show I've seen all year. I just saw him in South Haven, Mississippi about a month and a half ago. And I went into it thinking, man, there's 2 or 3 songs I like. And I went into it, and it was the best all-around show. And it was one of those shows where the guys, I know this is kind of a big thing now, but the guy came out and he goes, hey, if we see you with your phone out video recording, he said, we're getting you kicked out of the show because our shows are not, he goes, it's not about, you videotaping it and post it somewhere or whatever. He said, I want you to live in the moment like we did back in the day. He's like, I want you to live in the moment and enjoy this show. And it was one of the best damn shows. I've gone down a rabbit hole with Cake ever since that show because I'm like, this is fucking unbelievable. They were so good, man. So good.
Yeah, they were like, that's one of those bands that I didn't get into until way later. You know what I mean? Like when they had their hits or the songs that were on the radio, I was like, yeah. And I always liked multiple genres of music. It's not like I was just a kid, like just punk rock, especially by the time I was in high school. College, I got like super into Bruce Springsteen. He's one of my favorites, right? Like, so like, and it didn't do much. And then it was like, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, I was like, I heard them and I'm like, wait, this is some pretty rad, like stuff they're doing. Yeah. And they and I have friends that have seen them and said like the same thing, like super fun, great show, fun music. Like, so they would be one I would definitely go to see if I could.
Yeah, I thought we got a really good deal on tickets, and I don't know, they had some flash sale or something, and I was like, you know what, it's close by, we're gonna go, and we went with our friends and had a few drinks and enjoyed the night and whatever. Had a cigar before we went in. It was just a good evening, which adds to the ambiance, obviously. But I still had zero expectations for this show being awesome. I would rate it in one of my top 5 concerts I've ever seen when I was done with it. It was that awesome. Like, nice. It was just one of those bands. I'm telling you, I went down a rabbit hole. I've downloaded so much music and I follow them everywhere now. And I'm like, man, where can I go see them again for another show? Like, it was that good. So it's definitely worth seeing if you get a chance, man.
I love seeing music that like surpasses your expectations, right? And then on the other hand, I hate when I love a band and see them live and I'm like, this is shit. Like that, where they don't care or they're not in it or it sounds sterile or they aren't playing tight, whatever it might be. This last year I went to a show.
Don't go see Motley Crue.
No, no, I got my buddy. I had friends went and sent me some video, and I was like, yeah, no. Or the same with like GNR. I would have loved to have seen GNR back in the day, but I refused to go see them. Not because they're not good players, but it's like I don't want to hear those songs destroyed. Like they're too much a part of my youth and what I still like. I don't want to hear them butchered.
Yeah, I also
as
saw
bad
Motley
as
Crue.
bad as. I saw Motley Crue, and it was right before the last series or the last tour went out before they said they were going to quit. And the wife was going to get me tickets and for this last tour a couple of years ago. And so I was watching videos of them doing the tour. And I looked at her and said, no, don't do it. Don't spend the money. Don't do it. But I went and watched Hank Williams Jr.
Nice.
I've never seen a worse concert.
Really?
He sat on a stool that he kept falling off of. He forgot every word to his song. He was so drunk that he couldn't sing, and they finally helped him off the stage and canceled the show.
Oh.
The band came back out to play the music, but when they got booed so much, they quit playing the music and just said, we're done.
See, I went and saw Dylan, and like obviously Bob Dylan's Bob Dylan, right? But he doesn't play guitar anymore. And this was probably 15 years ago. He never touched a guitar. He sat at a piano, which fine, but he had a big band behind him, and every one of their songs he had redone in the style and sound for that tour of a big band. So everything you love about Dylan wasn't there. And there was, and he just sat at the thing, didn't interact, couldn't understand a word. And I was just like, this was not, I'm sure some people loved it, right? But for me, I was like, you want to hear songs the way you hear them, right? And it's like, I can respect that they are like, let's update it, let's give it a new feel. But like, that's, Maggie's Farm.
You can't do the classics, man. That's
So it was a less than, it's like there are certain, let's call them heritage acts, that I will go see if I can get the opportunity to, and there's ones I won't, because it's just like I don't want to be disappointed and be frustrated.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's only one band that I actually followed really heavily for a while, and I know it's not like a huge band, and this may have mixed emotions, but Theory of a Dead Man for a while, like I thought they were like one of the coolest sounding rock bands for a while, and I actually went and saw them 6 times in like a 2-year span, and only one time they actually sounded good, and it's when they were opening for Motley Crue, and Motley Crue's sound guy ran their sound. They should have fired their sound guy a long time ago, because I saw Theory of a Dead Man headline, and Hailstorm opened up for him. Hailstorm absolutely killed them, and I was so bummed by it. But it was one of those bands that kind of fell off the radar for me because of how bad they were live, and it just and their last couple albums have been terrible too. But their first couple, they still hold up. But yeah, it was disappointing, man. You spend that money and it just was not good.
Yeah.
So before we move off of bands, just want to ask, what if you go into some of the concerts that you've been to, whether it's nostalgia or whether it's just the atmosphere that you were in, what has been some of the best concerts that you've been to?
Last year, I went and saw Idols, and that was one of the best shows I had seen, at least in the past decade. Like, they're a cool band. I like them, but like the fact that they were so, it's nice when you catch a band before they go to stadium level, because that intimacy still translates like a small club feel, even though it was a mid-sized venue. But it's hard, super difficult for bands to translate that feel when you get to where you have 50,000 people, right? So it was just it just from beginning to end, I was just glued to it. So that's definitely of recent the best show. And then when Bruce, right after he did the album The Rising, after 9/11 and all that, and he came back with the E Street Band, I went and saw them. And like, dude, the guy played 3.5 hours and just blew the roof off the place. And it was such a good show. So that would be, and then the third would probably be Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, that I saw in like late 90s. They were touring, and these guys, it's like triple bypass surgery, all the stuff that they've gone through, and they played no opener, like for just shy of 4 hours, just song after song, and then the set, and then Neil Young would do a set, and then Crosby would come up and do a set, and they would still all back him up, but they would do all their solo stuff. And then they came back, and it was just like, it blew me away that these guys are so beat up physically, like just from age and all the stuff, and they just it was an awesome show. And I went with my dad, so it was kind of like a special, like the stuff he grew up on, and showed me when I was a kid. It was a cool show. So I mean, like, those are some of the probably top shows for me.
What about you, Mick?
I would say, so this is always, you say my favorite band, favorite live show?
No, just some of the best concerts you've been to.
This is always so hard to say, but my favorite band to see live is Live. Live is that band that man, Throwing Copper is like my favorite album of all time. And I've seen them like 3 or 4 times now. And they came from York, Pennsylvania, about 45 minutes from where I lived. And I knew about them very early on. And man, that album is probably, it was like my senior year, and I bought it and listened to that CD until the freaking top. You couldn't even tell what album it was anymore. And it's just one of those albums to me that, so just recently, about a month and a half ago or so, I went and saw them at this really cool ass place out near Nashville. It's called The Quarry. It's in an old stone quarry. And man, just reliving some of those songs, and he sounds just as good as he does. I know it's very few of the original members, but just seeing Ed up on stage again, just rocking it, and just a bonus Collective Soul opened up for him. So I mean, it was just a great show. So really, really good time. Just brought me back to my senior year.
Live with some good makeout music. I remember like, oh, let's put on him because his like sweet voice, and they had a heaviness, but they weren't heavy. You know, it was just like they could just, that was, let's put that on. Come on over here.
Hell yeah, I like it.
So recently, the best one that I went to was Shinedown. I went and saw. Wife got me. I always loved Shinedown. When I used to fight. My walkout song was Simple Man by Shinedown. You know, I love Skinner's version. Shinedown absolutely killed it. So I'd come out to that. But my wife got me tickets, and this was right after Brent Smith came back with the band, and they started touring again after he got more healthy than what he was. He slimmed down, took care of himself. An amazing concert. I mean, literally nobody could sit down because it was a party. When I was I graduated high school, and as a graduation present, my best friend's mom took me and him to Orlando, Florida, and we stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel for 2 weeks. It was a great gift. So we went to multiple concerts at the Hard Rock and got to see LL Cool J as he was coming back. And you want to talk about a party? Oh my God. LL Cool J, that was one of the best concerts I've ever seen.
Mama said, knock you out. I'm going to knock you out.
And that's what he opened up with. Yeah, 100%. So
surprised he didn't close with it. That's crazy.
So let's go into after high school. You went into college. Where'd you go to college?
So here's where the story gets the M. Night Shyamalan twist. So I went to school to seminary. Because
really,
yeah. And then I dropped out. So yeah, I was on a very different path. And when I got there, it was definitely not gelling with me. The school I was at was like, I smoked cigars, right? So I had to go, I would go hide, go to a place, have a coffee, and then have to take off all my clothes and stuff because I could be suspended for it, right? And it was pretty legalistic. And I started this doesn't feel right. These things shouldn't matter. I'm not I don't have any, for usage of the terms, convictions about this stuff. And it was just that with some other things that I just was this is not for me. So yeah, I mean, most of the time, because growing up in punk rock and this and that, people kind of assume I was on a terror, but I was actually a pretty good, I just skated and played punk, but I wasn't lighting fires in Kroger, you know what I mean? I was, so I still played some music, but then just got a job because I wanted to move out and just was I'll go to college later. And started working with, I found my first cigar shop because prior to that, my cigars were from a 7-Eleven. I didn't even know that there was such thing as a cigar lounge. So I found a proper cigar lounge and I just got enamored by the whole culture, and just, I was intimidated. So I never hung out at the shops. I just bought my cigars for the week and then would go. Cause it was just these guys aren't going to like me, this is not my scene, but I like cigars. And, over time and getting to know the shop owner, he was oh, why don't you stay and have a cigar? And I was why? you know, like, why would I want to, you know, these guys aren't going to dig me or like have anything in common. And he was like, you'd be surprised, you know. So I finally did. And I was like, it just, in the same way when I referenced, you know, going to my first hardcore show, where I was just like, the community itself drew me in, like the energy, the music, the community. The same thing happened to me in the cigar realm, because it was like something I really liked but didn't know much about. And there was something like guys in suits, guys in shorts, guys, you know, blue collar workers and all this stuff. And they're all just like having a good time. And that was like very intriguing to me. I was like, oh, mate, like they don't care that I don't have any money. They don't care that I, you know, play music or this or that. We're just smoking. And so it really drew me in. And so I had jobs. I was working grocery stores, just, you know, paying rent. And I had asked to, hey, if you ever need help, you know, that kind of thing. Like, I'd love to work, you know, and help out. And what year was Katrina? Was that 2001 or 2? Or 2000? I
think one, but one sticks in my head, but I could be wrong.
So it was that year the trade show was coming up, which at that point was the IPCPR, or no, RTDA, and then it became IPCPR and then PCA.
2025 or 2005.
Wow.
2005.
Okay.
Yeah, August 29th, 2005.
Okay, so actually it had to have been before that year, because I think it was like 2003. My memory is not great, but they asked if I could watch the shop while they went to the show, you know, and so I took my vacation at my other job and went there, and like I never left it. I started working retail and I fell in love with it. And so it was one night a week, then 2 nights a week, and then 3, and then, you know, and eventually it was full time, and then eventually it was ordering and stuff like that for the shop. And it just like it wasn't like I was trying to get into the industry. It was more so like I was just enamored by cigars, tobacco, the whole ethos of it. Not so much like, oh, I want to be a salesperson, you know, in this industry. But yeah, so it's like I never went back. I mean, I had taken college courses here and there, but I never went back. I just worked, you know. I got married super young too, so then it was like you have a kid, you have this stuff, so like all of that just becomes part of, you know, you have to support yourself, so you just work. But that's how I got into cigar. Into it.
Oh, I was about to say, well, you were talking about being in college, and you know, you was worried about being found out that you smoked cigars. So obviously you were smoking cigars beforehand. So what was your first introduction into cigars?
My uncles, my 2 uncles would at holidays. No one else in my family smokes. It's not a thing. And both of them have since passed, but every holiday they would sit on my grandma's front porch and like share a brother cigar between them. And when I was little, I was just like, I loved the smell. And for like 2 years, I planned on my 18th birthday to go buy a cigar and a Snapple. And I climbed up on my parents' roof and I smoked a cigar. And that was my first, like, they had let me take puffs. I don't know if it was something like, oh, it's manly, or if it's like I could see that they had, like, they were sharing a moment with each other, but I was just like drawn to it. And so I like literally planned out my 18th birthday around, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. And it's funny because I didn't know there was cigar shops. So I went and bought a Garcia Vega at 7-Eleven, you know, because I didn't know there, but I was instantly hooked.
I'm just more intrigued that you was pairing it with a Snapple. What Snapple was you? Which one was you drinking?
Kiwi strawberry.
Okay.
Okay, so you just said Kiwi, and I'm putting up smoking solstice. So Mark is from New Zealand. He's a Kiwi. So okay. Describe for a Kiwi that you were drinking Kiwi. Describe what a Snapple is.
It's like a fruit beverage esque, kind of like a lemonade, but they, like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a Snapple for years, but like, I wasn't 21, so I couldn't buy a beer or anything. A flavored
Sweet tea. Okay.
Well, they do sweet tea and regular.
But they were known for their fruit mixed
Yeah.
drinks, like strawberry kiwi, blueberry lemonade, like different weird combinations that and they were one of the first ones to do like a non-carbonated glass bottle metal lid. You remember that was the ones, man. The ones that would pop when you like.
And
Oh
they
yeah,
had, like,
they actually gave you a
fun fact.
message. Yeah, they had a message on the bottom of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like I guess I don't think it's a good pairing, but I didn't know about pairings at that point. That's what I need to do. I need to go find a kiwi strawberry one and try it with a cigar and critique it.
So you were talking about that,
Love it.
it was with your uncles. The first experience that I ever had with cigars was growing up. I got asked to be my uncle's best man in his wedding. So I went and got, I think I was like 6, 7 years old, got my black and pink tux because the tie, the cummerbund, bright baby gum pink. So, and he was sitting on the edge of the car, which just happened to be a Trans Am, typical 80s stuff. And he's sitting there smoking a cigar. And I loved the way it smelled. So going to his house, he always raised horses, always showed horses, always rode horses, always did motorcycles, rode motorcycles. And going up into his house every summer, the one thing I can remember is I can smell the cigar. And I always wanted to know what it was like to, I guess, taste a cigar, if it was as good as it smelled. And when I first started smoking cigars, I was like, I don't understand what he saw in this. Now, being so many years involved into it, it's like the dude was onto something.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So now I have 2 horses in my pasture. I have a motorcycle in my driveway, and I'm sitting here smoking cigars with you. So I guess I followed in my uncle's footsteps.
Yeah, it's funny. It wasn't but a few years ago. My mom was like, I was sitting with them and she was like, how did you even get into cigars? Because like, she's not a fan of she's accepted it, but she's not a fan. Right. Like, and I was like, well, your brothers. And she had this look of like horror on her face. And I was like,
you threw him under the bus.
Yeah. I mean, because they would go out in the backyard and do that, right? So like my mom was always inside doing the motherly thing and like, the gabbing with the other, my grandma and them. And so she was like, what do you mean, my brothers? And I was like, well, they used to always sit out there and they'd let me take like a puff and this. And she got so upset. I mean, they're both passed now. So, but it's just funny. She had no idea. And she was like really upset that she found out that it was like, from like her side, because like no one in my family smokes.
So a hard question. Then your uncles that enjoyed this so much, did they ever get to see you enjoy cigars and go into your brand?
Not into my brand, not even on the industry side outside of retail, but talk about memorable like smokes, right? Is they did this at each holiday, and my Uncle Glenn would, at the 4th of July, he would light off fireworks with his cigar, right? He'd light them with, the cherry. And after, I remember right after my Uncle Dave had passed like some years back. And so that tradition had fallen off. And so after my 18th birthday, that next holiday, I brought 2 cigars for me and my uncle, and I got to like smoke with him. And we smoked together quite a few times before he had passed. And then now on the 4th of July, I light my cigars with, you know, the cigar. And it's not an intentional thing, but it's like the reins got passed on. And it's kind of like, I think that's part of like what a lot of people don't get with my like fascination or love for tobaccos is like it connects, like there's kind of a connection to these that I get to like live in memory, you know, when I smoke cigars, and especially at like holidays, I sit out by myself and like my sisters will come talk or my kids will come talk to me. But like, you know, I've kind of continued on the tradition in like, you know, took on the torch, so to speak. So yeah, I at some point I will make a cigar like in honor of that, you know, or as in like an homage, you know, to that. But yeah, my uncle, he only smoked short perfectos, Fuente. And so I'm like, well, I can't make that size because they'll come after me. No, they won't come after me. But like, you know, but I got to do something at some point to like, you know, kind of connect the lineage or heritage of it. But yeah, it was very cool when I got to smoke with the one, because it's like we were sitting on the porch and the new generation of kids were running around, you know, and it was like, oh, we're the cool old guys now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, that's amazing. That's why we do this show, is for stories like that. I mean, obviously we want to get your brand out there and get people to know you, but this is exactly why we do these stories, man. And it's so funny because like every person we have on here, I feel some kind of connection with because of a story like that. Because like my dad smoked when he fished, so a lot of my growing up was in Canada. We'd go fishing, and my dad would always smoke while he fished. It's the only time of year he'd smoke is when we were out fishing. But that got me to, you know, start stealing some of his cigars or buying my own after I turned 18. And I would have a cigar when I smoked, and then it turned into around the campfire, and then it turned into something, you know, that I kind of got into. And it evolved over the years. And now that I've joined our cigar club, and you know that we do this every week, it's become more of a ritual than it ever has. But that being said, it all started, and it goes back to my dad. And my dad's 91 now, and I've still never had a cigar with him. And I highly doubt I ever will, because he's super religious. Nothing wrong with it, but like super over the top religious. And he hasn't smoked in years, and his health isn't great. So I know it probably won't ever happen. But every time I smoke one, I still think of my dad. You know what I mean? So there's still that connection on that side. So I mean, it's kind of the same thing, man. It definitely, it takes you back, and it feels like it's been passed down a little bit. And it's something every time I think of that person. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, you know, not necessarily, but since we're on this train of thought, like I was having a conversation with a friend who's a retailer the other night, and like we were talking about how like it gets very like overused, and I don't think a lot of people understand when they talk about like community, or like what is it about cigar shops, or what is it about cigars, right? And you know, I was like, the weird thing is like you sit with someone for an hour and a half, eventually you start talking, right? And then when you start talking, eventually you have your fluff conversations, and then you start getting into life, real stuff like that. And you know, from being a spectator of that for years, working the retail and watching people, and then the conversations I got to be a part of or was privy to, it's such a unique industry, because like that stuff kind of happens at bars too. But the problem is people are inebriated, and they don't, you know, it's clouded.
It's clouded.
Yeah. But yet, like over a cigar, you know, I was telling him that like I was at a shop, and this guy showed up, and he's like, he's like, oh, I thought he was kind of being a killjoy because he was like, oh, my wife just recently passed and this and that, and not like, but I was like, oh, you're throwing this like heavy stuff. Okay, we're going there. But the reason he came to the event is because her favorite cigar at the time before she had passed was one of my cigars. And so he's like, I wanted to come talk to you. And I'm sitting there, and then like 2 hours later, I'm like deep in it with this guy, and all the feels are going on and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what a unique like industry that I'm connected to this guy. And all I did was make something that like I thought would express myself, and it's not, but for him, it's a whole nother thing. It's the fishing, it's the sitting on a holiday, like having that moment with, my uncles, or keeping that memory. And it's like, those are the times when you're like, man, like I never would have thought that like this would lead me to here, in these type of conversations. And yeah, those are the moments when I'm just like, oh, this is cool. Like, I love that I'm in this.
Well, see, that's like the tagline for, the podcast is real cigars, real moments, real smoke. It's all being real. And it's one of the things that somehow you can be smoking a cigar. They always talk about, people will tell the truth when they get drunk. They don't have to get drunk. They have to light up a cigar, and when they light up a cigar and the truth comes out, they just start talking and they relax, and their life experiences just start coming out. And that's one thing that, just rolled up, plant matter, as Matt Booth would call it, kind of does for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into, you're in college. Let's go into where you started going into the cigar industry. You said you had somebody who asked you to come in and fill in for him every once in a while. How did that get you into your next steps into the cigar industry?
So when I was filling in at the shop, and then I started taking more hours, and I fell in love with it. And like, it was like, what can I try? And I worked for a big retailer on the West Coast. So it like really, really like helped me being like just trying all these different cigars and going through and learning. And eventually I did it for just shy of around 11 years. So I was in the retail end for over a decade. And I was like, I want to do more in this industry. Like, I want to learn more. I want to be. And so I was like, oh, I got to go to the other side of it, And so I started applying for rep jobs for the West Coast. And eventually I landed one with Christian Aroa when he had launched CLE. So I worked with Christian as the West Coast sales rep when shortly after that brand launched, kind of built up the West Coast. Through that, one of the brands in the portfolio was a brand called Winwood, which Robert Caldwell was a partner with Christian Aroa in that brand. And that brand started getting legs on the West Coast. So he traveled a lot with me. And then Robert and I became close. We just became good friends. And when their partnership ended and split off, and Rob decided to start his own brand, he was like, hey, do you want to come start Caldwell Cigars with me? And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, be a sales rep or what? And he's like, nah, be our national sales manager. And so I was like, okay. And then like went and bought some books on like, what is a national sales manager supposed to do? And so
that was probably before Google, when you could actually start realizing, probably what you should do. I understand that you were a rep and you had your what you were doing there. What was it like mentally for him to say, I want you to run the national sales rep program for the company?
I mean, it was hilarious because like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, I had jobs where I had managed.
So how did you figure it out?
I didn't. I still am, or I don't know. Like it just. I will say, I had built up quite a few relationships with people that like helped me. You know, like I didn't know what I was doing, and we were just causing a commotion, and it was probably very obvious that I didn't know, but at the same time, it was the right recipe for the brand to launch at the right time, and it just kind of took off. So I got to be a part of that and learn as I went. And, you know, like I certainly was not qualified for that position, but he was just like, yeah, you can be this, and, you know, like fancy titles. And so much so that by the end of my time with them, like I was getting offers from actual, like, not that Caldwell wasn't an actual brand, but from like more prestigious or you know, more solidified brands, heritage brand. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm doing something right, because now like people are talking to me as an industry person, not just some, you know, young kid out on the, you know, who doesn't know what he's doing. So I figured it out somehow, you know, like I leaned a lot on people that had more wisdom than me and read books, and somehow got somewhere with it. But, you know.
So as somebody who was with Caldwell from, I guess, conception to the time that you left, what were some of those meetings and some of those journeys like? Because I mean, he's trying to find his path. You're trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do.
Yeah.
So this has to be an interesting, like some of these meetings where, you know, you guys are coming together saying, okay, what do we do now? Some of these got to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they were like, and most of them I was probably drunk for too. Like, cause Rob thought it was hilarious cause he was sober, but he thought it was hilarious to get us drunk, you know, and then like try to conduct business. Like it's like he wasn't living vicariously through us. He was enjoying the comedy of it all. And, yeah, I mean, let's do this. And let's make stickers that say Caldwell blows with cocaine coming out your nose. Okay. And then all of a sudden that's like, you know, there's stickers that are being plastered all over the trade show floor with Robert with blood drops saying Caldwell blows. Like none of it, like it's just, it was a special time. You know what I mean? Like that can't be recreated because none of us knew what we were doing. And it just still worked.
See, what's funny is when I was first introduced to Caldwell, it was seeing the stickers that you were just talking about. So that's hilarious. Realizing that you were in there when that was happening. So being a part of Caldwell, what are some of like the biggest, you know, successes that you can think of? Like, holy shit, I can't believe this worked. Or I helped get this started when you were working with Caldwell.
I mean, when we started making real money, you know, that was obviously an indication that it was working. Right. And then
what was the cigar that like broke through when you guys were
honestly
starting?
The initial portfolio, the Eastern Standard, King is Dead, and Long Live the King, like those three cigars put the brand on the map. And then, you know, because like Lost and Found and all that other stuff didn't come, even though Lost and Found was already in motion, it kind of started, then Caldwell started, then Lost and Found took a back seat for a while, and then came back to market, so to speak. So that was it was just all this like tongue-in-cheek marketing, and people like, you know, no, maybe it was when the Yellow Cake launched, when we made a short filler cigar so that we could hand stuff out that was cheap to consumers. That was the point of that, because everyone's like, oh, do you have a cigar? Do you have a cigar? Oh, you're with Caldwell. Do you have a cigar? So Rob was like, I don't want to give away nice cigars. So let's make, yellow cake, which are like lawnmower cigars. You know, that's what you smoke when you're doing. And then watching the hype of those packs sell for like $100, and they were a 5-pack that was worth less than $1. Like, that was when I was like, what is going on here? Like, this is just, people would come to the events because we'd be like, oh, you buy a box and you get 5 packs of yellow cake. And I remember doing an event where a guy bought like 4 boxes, I can't recall, to get all the yellow cake. Then he went online and he came up to me and Rob and was like, I just paid for all my cigars tonight through these yellow cakes. And he had sold them all. And we were like, should we hire this dude? Like, because this is insanity. He just sold short fillers to like, but that's where it was like, oh, this is like, there's something happening here. Like, there's something in the air. And like, it's some people were like, oh, it's the best cigar you make. And we're like, no, it's certainly not the best thing. Like, it was, they were mixed filler of those 3 blends, you know, with a Long Live the King wrapper, a Corojo wrapper. They were intended to be just something to hand out. And when they were selling for, you know, $75, $100 a pack, that's when we were like, that's also why he killed it. Because how disappointed would you be if you bought a 5-pack at $100 and then found out you were smoking short filler? So we killed off making yellow cake for years because we didn't want that to be the representation of what Caldwell was, you know, and people to be angry that they paid so much stupidly for something that it was never intended to be. It's not like it was an LE, you know, it was nothing. And, you know, butcher paper wrapped with a little sticker on it that, like, you know, that's all it was. But that definitely was like, oh, this brand is making bigger waves than we realized, you know, when that was happening.
So going back into when you and Robert was getting, you know, Caldwell Cigars started, what is one of the best memories that you have, whether it was a meeting or an event or whatever, that you can think of that, you know, it just happens to stick out that, like, dang, this was really cool?
There's probably a couple of them. Probably before he started the brand, after he had left, he came to LA. Me, him, Booth, and one other guy, I think one of Rob's friends that lives in LA. We all got together and we were hanging out, and like Rob was like considering starting his brand. And that's when he was like, would you be interested? And like the cigar nerd in me was like, yeah. And like, there was something just very exciting to me about it. But at that time, I didn't smoke many Dominican cigars. So I was like, I want to taste your like cigars before I agree to this. That was like my caveat. Like, I want to make sure they're good, as if I'm some like, you know, guru that can say what's good and what's not. Right. And, so I remember that was a significant moment because it was like the start of something new, you know. And then probably the best and worst experiences combined when we did our first sales meeting, but we did it in Spain, and it was chaos. Like, it's the first and only time I ended up punching one of my sales reps because I needed to end the night because it was so out of control, myself included, but I was a tad bit less, and I was the mother hen, and I needed the night to end. So I just had to drop one of our guys, and that ended the night. But it, like, when you think about, like, good thing I was also the HR department. But it was such an amazing memory because like it was chaos. There's footage, there's videos floating around of that trip, and it was just we got kicked out of the Airbnb because we partied with some German dudes at the Airbnb on the rooftop. Weird stuff happened. It was a weird, like, but a great memory.
I feel like episode 2 of Jeremy McDonald is coming at some point because there's some good stories. I want to dig deeper, man, but I don't want to hold you on here for like 4 hours either. So I think we'll hold that for another night. But man, there's some good stories there. The way it sounds.
We'll go. This one was the like endearing, meaningful, and the next one will be debauchery.
Correct. I'm good with that completely.
Yeah.
We'll get in touch with you
Episode
for
2,
next year.
behind the scenes and debauchery.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So I was going to ask you. So I read somewhere on one of the interviews or one of the write-ups you did that Robert, towards the end when you started wanting some artistic freedom to kind of do your own thing, he kind of gave you that leeway, but he also said when you get to that point where you're ready to do something, like that's the time to resign. So like, tell us about that story.
Yeah. So it was 2018. We were at the trade show, and I was just burnt out, done. And I was like, I had job offers to go to other companies, and I was like, I don't want to make lateral moves for more cash. And so I sat with them at the trade show, and I was like, I'm nearing the end of my run. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but like, I got to find something because this just is not working anymore for me. I was just exhausted, and just living on the road, not being there while my kids, are growing up, and all it was all hitting me. And I was like, this isn't worth it anymore. Not for a paycheck. So he was like, well, figure out what you want to do. And then in 2000, about a little over a year later, I called him and I was like, I want to go out on my own. I want to try to do this. And he was like, you should. Like, you've done what you needed to do with our brand, and like, I support it. And so we had an agreement that he was like, you can stay on board doing Caldwell until your cigars are in production, and then like at that point you'll need to resign. So it was almost a full year before anyone else knew that I was like what I had been up to. And so it's like the minute it got announced, like, oh, Jeremy's leaving Caldwell, and then the brand shows up 2 months later, people were like, oh, there must have been some shadiness and there must have been this. But it was like, it's amazing what happens when you just talk to people and have a good relationship, that they are supportive in your endeavors in what you want to do, and like, look, man, I mean, Caldwell sold 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and like, Rob's got his toes in the sand and he's happy. And like, I was a small percentage partner in that. So like, that helped some with Wildfire and those things like that, so like, it all like ended up being a benefit. But yeah, we didn't announce it to anyone until my cigars were like ready. And that's when I did a press, like, I had told a retailer who's a close friend, and they accidentally told one of our reps. And then that's when we're like, oh, cat's out of the bag. We got to move this along, now, like, cause now there's going to be like questions, and now it's going to get a little hairy. So it kind of pushed it up a little bit, but it was rad. I mean, like, all during like 2020, when we were like dealing with COVID, it was like, I'd work on stuff for Caldwell. I'd work with our sales team. And then like, everyone's shutting off their computer. And now I'm like, okay, branding, working on all the Wildfire stuff. So it was a unique opportunity that he allowed me to stay on while I prepped for the brand.
That's amazing. Hey, I'm gonna throw a little plug in for the show here. He is one of the hardest humans in the world to get a hold of. We've been trying to get him on the show for a long time. So I'm throwing a plug in for the show. If you could give us a little hand with that, let us know. Like, it's really hard to get a hold of him. We'd love to interview him on the show and hear some sides of his story. So let us.
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
that'd be great.
Okay.
So
I can try.
Going into, so I was actually going to say the same thing, but going into getting into your own brand, you've realized that you want to do your own thing. Where do you go from there? Whether it's, looking into what factory you want to go into, the brand name and things like that. Did you have a factory that you wanted to work with? Did you have a brand name that you wanted to work with? How did you find your way to both of those?
So when I was I knew off the bat I wanted to work with Hoya de Nicaragua in the beginning, because they were the first. Like when I was a retailer, I went on a factory tour, as they do to like take retailers down. It was my first time, to Nicaragua, and I loved the fact that they were the history of that factory. So I didn't want to off the bat work with the same factory that Caldwell was, because I didn't want it to be like I'm riding the coattails, and because I primarily smoked on my own, like, cigars out of Nicaragua and stuff. I wanted to produce there. So it's funny because when I reached out to them, they thought I was calling on behalf, because I hadn't yet left Caldwell. So they thought I was like going behind, like doing some shady business. And I had to like bring Rob into the mix to be like, no, because he had like some lost and founds done at Hoya. And so we had to kind of explain the situation incognito, like, hey, like, this is on the up and up. I'm starting my own brand. And so they agreed to produce for me. And so they were the first choice. And then that's who I went with, to start. And I've worked with other factories now, but I really wanted to start with them. Because my idea was like, like it'd be cool to work with multiple factories, and like it's way more of a headache dealing with multiple, because like, it's just every direction. So I don't know if I would have done it the same way restarting, but like, and the name was, I had another name for the brand, and there was a shop opening with the same name. I had gone through the trademark process. I got the trademark. And then in the 11th hour, they were like, hey, we would like to keep this name. And so I tried to work out an agreement with them. They weren't responsive. So I was like, dude, I don't want to come out of the gates in a litigation. Like this is not how I want to start this. So we had already conceptualized the campfire and all that. So honestly, I'm in California, and I was looking at the news, and we were on fire, as we typically are. And I was like, wildfire. Okay, that still works. Like kind of in the same ethos of what I was going for. So it just became, we ran with it, so it kind of became the name out of necessity, and boxes were already made. And so it was just like, we got to come up with something quick that still works in the same vein of what we were like thinking. So the name came about that way, and just, it works.
So, I mean, one thing, it's pretty awesome that, the one factory that you wanted to work with, you got to work with, because we've talked to a lot of brands that they've struggled. They've gone to 10, 15, 20 different factories, and whether they were either told, no, we don't want to work with you, you're too small, or the product that they were putting out wasn't matching the consistency that they wanted. You had a factory that you wanted to work with, and they decided to work with you. So getting them to agree to make your cigars, was that something that was kind of an easy thing on you guys, or were they more like, we got to get to know you a little bit better?
Well, a little of both, I guess. But I mean, I had been around long enough where relationships had been cultivated, right? So I had an easier time going into a factory, because I came from a known brand. I had kind of built my reputation in the industry. So there was enough to like get me in the door, so to speak. And then from there, like, yeah, we had to have some conversations I am in Cali. But it definitely helped me, like, from the ground up, that I was from an established brand and we were known, for sure. And then it was just like, they kind of vetted me because they don't do a lot of brands outside of their own out of there. I mean, they do like some Dunbarton stuff for Tello. They've done some stuff for Booth here and there, but they don't do a lot of other brands. And I liked that aspect of it rather than going to like Aganorsa. And like, I didn't want to, like, where everyone else was working. I didn't want to go to the cool spot. I wanted to go, they're lesser known, they're super consistent, they got a history there. So like for me, it was like a deliberate, like, I don't want to go where everything else is happening. I want to find someone that's like willing to like work with me. And they just
I heard you make a comment on another podcast a few years ago that when they finally decided to work with you and they were like saying yes, you made a comment that was well over their head. And you said, do I need to buy a tracksuit? Do I need to get an Adidas tracksuit?
Yeah. And
because,
that is
because you were a made man.
Yeah.
And when I heard you say that, Sopranos, Paulie Walnuts, that's all I thought about.
It is funny because there was like, I would say probably like 5 or 6 conversations, and they were vetting me, like, yeah, I'd gotten in the door, but they were like, well, what's going to happen if this, and what, we don't really deal with brands of your size. And like, they had all these reasons not to work with me. Right. But like, we kept having the conversations, and then they called me and they were like, we're going to make your cigars. And it was exactly that. I was like, and I said, should I get a tracksuit? And Juan Martinez was like, what? And I was like, I don't know, man. It just like, I'm part of the family now. Like, do I get to like, I'm in. So it was very much kind of fun because it was like, yeah, they were the first choice, and they like, it actually worked. I got in the club, so that is
amazing.
You were a made man.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. Obviously a great factory to get in with. So what made you decide to do part of your brand with Cavalier? Because we're both very close. Well, Charles more than me, but we're both close with Cavalier. We know a lot of the main players there. Which obviously is one of our favorite brands because of, I guess, our relationship with them. I'm kind of speaking for Charles right now, but what?
Well, I'm
what
just
made you go
saying,
that direction as well.
Got to give a shout out to Cavalier FTC, their factory. They just came out with and was debuted yesterday the Tennessee exclusive TriStar Hoof Crew Trace Australis. So gotta love Cavalier. So
Nice.
Going back into what he said, yeah. So, before you go into his, what did you come out with when you were starting with Hoya? What cigars did you start blending with them? And then how did you go into meeting Cavalier?
So I knew the guys from Cavalier because I've known Brian for years when he was with Illusione, and through, I
Brian's my brother.
I'd met Sebastian, at the trade shows and stuff, and we would talk about music, and Brian was pretty instrumental. There had been, I wanted to get more hands-on experience, and like with tobacco, I wanted to learn more. And Brian was like, well, come down, man. You can just play with all the tobacco you want, like all that we have. You can just like, and that really intrigued me because I wanted to create blends that I found to be unique. And the process with Hoya is a much more guided process when you're blending with them. Like, I don't have, and it's not an insult, it's just I don't have free reign, if that makes sense, right? I can't just go grab this tobacco from this. It's like they're sitting you down and they have a blender with you, and they're working more so on profile versus the actual tobaccos. But I was like, I want to learn the tobaccos though. Like this isn't like the satisfaction isn't the same. And so I went down just to kind of like mess around, and I stayed with Brian, and Sebastian was there that time. And I just like fell in love with the, like how much freedom I had to try to come up with some like very unique blends. And so I just ran with it. And cause I was like, because we're such good friends and we had a good history, I was like, well, why don't I make something here? You know, like I don't need to just make it at once. So it wasn't I'm leaving Hoya and I'm going to FCT. It was more so like I can expand my horizons and my learning at this factory in a way that I couldn't in the same way there. And so I just kept going down because I want to learn. And then from that resulted some, you know, the Wanderer, and then the first LE series I did with the intro and then the hook. And so it became more of like kind of like going like home in a different way. And so I just started using them more because of the accessibility. Plus I knew them so well. So it just like, it felt a little more natural for me, like more organic, I guess I should say.
So let's go into that. You've got two shops or two factories you're working with. You got Hoya and you got FTC. So what brands did you start with Hoya and you're still working with them? And what are you kind of guiding towards FTC?
So I launched with the single. That was an LE out of Hoya. That was the first cigar that came out. It was a Churchill. And I wanted to show right off the bat, like, hey, we can do like elegant, we can do nice and refined. And then we were working on the Revivalist, which became the first core line, which is a much more like rustic, kind of an ode to old school Nicaraguans, the stuff I grew up on. And like, I wanted to do kind of a modern take of a classic Nicaraguan versus like making a pepper bomb or this kind of a earthy, really showcase like the Nicaraguan profile of stuff I got into when I started smoking premium cigars. So those were the first two. Then I went to FCT and we did the intro, and then we did Wanderer, and then the hook. No, the intro and then the Wanderer. Then we released Arteus from Hoya. We had been working on that for a year, got that dialed in, and then launched that. And then I did another release, the hook with FCT. So it's just kind of like I'm going where the magic is, wherever that is. And like next year I'm introducing another factory of things, because it's like I want to just, you know, continually learn, but I also want to just like come out with really fun stuff that I find enjoyable, that I can express some kind of different, you know, my own little mark, so to speak, right? So I'm going to continue floating around, you know, because it's just, it's not that I'm not working with factory A or B. It's just, I'm going to go where the wind takes me, where it feels good at the moment.
That's awesome, man. No, it's good not to tie yourself down with one factory. I mean, it seems like you picked two great factories already. I'm excited to see what you do in the future. But something I like to ask pretty much all of our guests, like, how do you go about looking for your next cigar? Do you go looking for something like a profile, or is it something that you let the cigar speak to you, or and then, you know, kind of name it from there and go from there? Because that's something I love to hear the story behind.
It's more so a profile. So there has been like a Wanderer, for example, that wasn't profile. I'm not the biggest fan of Sumatra as a wrapper. But then I had a few cigars that I felt kind of inspired by that were using Sumatra. So I was like, I don't dislike Sumatra. I typically dislike the way it's blended. So because of that, I was like, I want to use Sumatra, and I want to be able to like give it a voice that I like to smoke in how it works together. So same thing with San Andreas. I haven't done like San Andreas to me, like it's used on 100+ cigars, right?
It's overused. I mean, it's a great tobacco, but it's overused for sure.
But the majority of the time, I don't like how they showcase it, right? So I don't typically gravitate towards San Andreas, but I've had some amazing San Andreas, right? So that when I did the Wanderer, it was like, I want to work with, the Sumatra, because like, I was like, there's like notes of chocolate and like spices, and I'm like, I want to enhance that. I want to bring that forward. I want to like showcase that. So that one was more of I had a tobacco in mind. Let's build off this to come up with to build a profile. The other ones have been a little more abstract because it's more of an experience I'm going for rather than a profile or tobacco. So like Revivalist, I wanted it to be like an old school Nicaraguan from like the late 90s with a modern twist, like something that could be an everyday cigar that like reminded me of everything that I fell in love with Nicaraguan cigars, that earthiness. So it was like I was trying to capture an experience more so than a profile or the specific tobaccos. It was like, which is hard to do because when you can't express what you really like, oh, let's try this binder or this, because you're thinking in like an abstract as far as like, I want it to like convey an idea more so than a profile. It's a little harder to do. However, like that's the musical background in me, the way like, I write lyrics and then I write music around it, right? To emphasize the mood of the song that I'm creating. I want the music to support it. So it's kind of the same approach. It's like, I have the lyrics, but I got to find a way to showcase the tobacco to make it work with what I'm trying to say. And so like the idea of like Revivalist, to me, it's like it's your camping cigar, right? You're sitting around with your boys drinking Coors. You're not drinking high-end whiskeys. You're at the lake or you're at a campsite, and I was like, this feels like the perfect cigar for that experience. And so that's where like that's the process behind it. So it's a little bit different because I'm not like, oh, I'm got to showcase this tobacco, right? But as I'm learning more and more about the tobacco, now it's like if I find something that's kind of, ooh, that's a unique, let's build off of that, right? So there's not one way that I operate with the blends. They're all kind of their own story, so to speak, because it's just like it's whatever speaks to me, right? And it's like,
I love that, man.
And I think it keeps it fun because like, there are guys that like, oh, I love Wanderer, but I don't like Revivalist, or, oh, I love Revivalist, but I don't like Arteus. And it's like, great. That's the whole point, right? Like if you can find one that resonates and it like connects with you, then like we all win, right? Like I don't want cigar A to taste like cigar B, to taste like cigar C. I don't want to be that brand. I want it to be 100%. Like, oh, this interests me. This one I liked. Cool. That's your smoke then, right? From my portfolio. And I very much like that. I don't want to, like when I did the intro, I was like, I'm not going to make it Connecticut because like the world's best cigars have already been done using Connecticut, right? Like, it's like, I can't compete. I'm not going to make a Davidoff level cigar. Or, some of these very refined smokes. But I was like, what if I go a completely opposite direction? What if I make something that's like rough, but it's a Connecticut, you know, and it's got broadleaf in it, and it has Corojo, and it's like, it is not a tame. And I'm not the first guy by any means to make a fuller bodied Connecticut, but the point behind it was like, I wanted to make something that was like a little bit, you would not expect it. You look at it and you light it, and if you're expecting elegance, you're going to get slapped in the face. If you go in with an open mind, maybe you'll dig it, and you'll find your time where this cigar makes sense. And that's kind of the beauty about being smaller and doing smaller productions, is I think it gives me a lot more freedom to be, I can do whatever I want. Right. And like, and I'm only making X amount of boxes, so it's not going to be hard for it to sell. But maybe that's going to become that person's favorite cigar of the year. And it's also going to become someone's the worst cigar of the year for them. Fine. Cool by me. You know what I mean? Like, as long as they smoke, you know, like, I guess the end result for me is if they smoke a Wildfire and they go, oh, that's interesting, or that's unique, or that, like, then I feel like my job is done. You know, like I did what I set out to do.
So going into, you know, Wildfire cigars, you're talking about as long as they get to try them, and whether they like them or not, as long as they get to try them. Let's go into really quickly the different lines that you have through Wildfire.
I'm going to turn this light on real quick because I'm getting there, so I can show my pretty face. You know, it was getting dark.
The beard is back.
Yeah.
We have been waiting for that to come back. It was vanishing. It was so much better.
Now it's got like a halo around it, an angelic.
It does. Angelic.
So I kind of went through, actually, like, I mean, up to date, like the whole portfolio at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's what you were asking, like what cigars I've done, or.
Yeah. So what, just going through, what is the core line?
So the core line would be, you know, Revivalist, Arteois, and Wanderer.
Okay.
Those would be the core.
So,
or they have been thus far, I should say.
Right. So what do you have coming? What are you looking forward to coming up with what you've got going on?
So this is a little bit of like titillating, you know, news. Next year's going to be a very, very fun year for the brand. Yes, exactly. Like, is it getting chilly?
It is very.
And because there is going to be a lot. It's going to be a very fun year for the brand. I can't fully disclose yet what is happening and doing, but we, like, 2026, like, Wildfire is going to be more like an actual Wildfire. You know, like there's going to be a very kind of different representation and way that I'm taking a big pivot in the way that I am doing the brand. And I think it's going to be super exciting, but there's going to be a lot of offerings and a lot of really, really special, like, fun things coming out next year. So I wouldn't, the whole concept of core isn't really a thing.
All right. So you're going to pivot. So I'm going to pivot. Coming into 2026, there's going to be a point to where you finally kind of let out of the bag what's going on. I would love to have you back on here where you can finally go, all right, guys, this is what's happening. So I would love if you're interested to jump on here and be like, okay,
invite.
This is what, yeah, open invite. This is what's going on. This is what we're doing. Let's all go for it.
So yeah, then we should schedule something for January.
How about first week of February?
You're like, That is fine, but the news might already be out, is all I'm saying.
We could do a Tuesday in January, maybe, or a Wednesday.
A Tuesday in January.
Or Thursday.
A Tuesday in January.
Yeah, pick some off night where no one sees us, and then they go, wait a second, what did I miss?
Hey, Mick, get up with him. Let's get something on a Tuesday booked in January.
All right. Let's do that. But I do want to say, I wait till the end of the show usually to do this, man. But you're now part of this family, whether you like it or not, the Real Smoke family. And if you have anything ever that you're like, man, I want to put this out somewhere, I don't know where, fucking call us, brother. Like, we got you. Like, this is what we do, man. Like, we love getting this stuff out, and we love having fun. Even if it's for, you hop on for a 20-minute freaking jump on and announce something. Awesome, man. Let's do it.
Cool. I appreciate it. It's going to be a fun
we have a chat set up with you, me, and Mick. So we'll post something in there tomorrow morning sometime. We will give you a list of Tuesdays for January. You pick the Tuesday that you want, because we don't schedule anything on Tuesdays. So you get your choice of whatever one, and you come on here and we'll do a double episode, and we'll get you on here to talk about what's going on. So my last question before we jump on to Hotbox questions. I'm about to, this weekend, Mick and I are meeting up with Brian from Cavalier at the TriStar Herf Crew event. Can you give me any story that I can relay to Brian that's going to have him look at me and go, how do you know that?
That I can share, though, publicly. I don't know. There's always that, like, what's our bro code? No, I'm just kidding. Well, he was hugely, I mean, he knows this, but I mean, like, he would be, one, he'll feel good that you know this, because, like, he had he was hugely instrumental in Wanderer coming to market, because we were sitting around and we were coming up, and normally blends, you know, are not done overnight. But the thing is I needed to get something to market, and we had come up with this blend that we dug, and we're like, we're not even gonna rest it and like wait to see what it becomes. We're crossing our fingers, and we're just gonna put this out and hope that it ages well, and that it's funny because it's become my number one selling brand. But that entire brand from ground up was built in less than 24 hours. Blend, artwork, name. And we were sitting there trying to name it in Honduras, and he's like, you know, you're kind of lost and you're this and that. He's like, what about like The Wanderer? Remember that movie, The Wanderer thing? And I was like, I don't know what movie that is. You know, I'm not 200 years old. And he's like, no, and he was like, no. And I was like, wait, that's a perfect name though. So he came up with it, but he not just came up with it. That cigar literally was designed. I called my girl Jacqueline, who does, like, she's a part of the brand, and she's worked with Caldwell, Drew Estate, all that. She's a part of Wildfire. And she was like, I'm like, drop everything. You need to figure out this artwork tonight, like thing. And that whole brand was untested. We didn't know how it was going to age, and we put it to market, and it's become a number one brand. And it was done in less than 24 hours. So awesome. Sometimes the stars align.
I will mention that to him this weekend when we see him.
But it was because of him. You know what I mean? Like that like came about the way, because he was like, just do it. And I was like, dude, we made the blend today. We have we have to like let them rest, you know, do some samples, come back, see how they are, see if we need to make
really quickly. Just not exaggerating. Did he tell you to just do it?
Something to that effect. He was like, you have to do it. Just do it.
So here's the reason why. So a couple of months ago, it'd be a year and 2 months. So Mick and I are at an event, the TriStar Herf Crew in Memphis. And Mick is coming up to me asking me if I want to do this podcast. And we're all drinking. We're playing cornhole. Brian and all of us are outside. It's 120 freaking degrees outside.
Hey,
We're all dying.
Wait, drinking is
No,
an
wait.
understatement.
No.
Drinking is an understatement.
Oh. So it's one of those things. It was one of those things where I asked my wife, I was like, hey, Mick comes up to her and says, hey, is he going to do this or what? And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I want to do a podcast with him. I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. So Brian comes up to me and says, what is this about a podcast? And so I'm telling him all about this podcast. And he's like, what's your reservations on it? I was like, time, commitment. I don't know if it would be worth doing. And he literally looked at me and said, fucking do it, bro. Just do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, sometimes you just got to jump, right? I mean, like, to be cliche, but it's like, it's so true. And like, we had no idea what that cigar. I was terrified when we released the cigar, because when we released it at the show was the first time I was tasting it after it had rested. I had only smoked it as a fresh rolled. And so like, we were just like, we think this is going to be good. Like, if this flops, I'm going to turn to Brian and be like, fuck you. but it didn't. It
didn't.
Worked.
It didn't. I will say I got my first Wildfire from Smoker's Abbey in Nashville, and I just happened to go into Smoker's Abbey. I sent Brian a message and said, I'm trying to find something to smoke. What do you because he knows that shop. He said he sent me a picture of a Wildfire. I think it was a reddish band, and he said, try this one. And I think it was the Wanderer. So
the green.
I don't
green
remember
band.
the green. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was what he told me to smoke. So that was the first time I ever tried yours. So, okay. So closing everything up, we always ask everybody if you're interested in playing Hotbox Questions. Hotbox Questions are 10 random questions that we get to ask to you, and it's random to you, not random to us. You get to have fun with it. Are you willing to play Hotbox Questions?
Do I win a trophy?
Yes. Mick will send it to you next week.
I'm in.
Maybe. Yes.
All right. Awesome. So Hotbox Questions are brought to you by Beard Apothecary.
What up, Real Smoke fam? Here we are in the most metal room in the house. I'm going to take us on a little secret mission into the secret lair of the mad scientist. Do not tell her I showed you this stuff. This room freaks me out. It is nothing but Taylor Swift, all the time. I just can't. There's just Taylor Swift everywhere. Albums, all kinds of stuff. What I want to give you guys a sneak peek of is listed on the number right here. We've got us a brand new item coming out pretty soon called the Ever Inked Tattoo Balm. It'll help revitalize your tattoos. Can go on with new tattoos, which means I got to go get one, test it out. We should be releasing that in the near future. I'll keep you guys up to date. Thank you guys very much. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the boys. Peace out.
Huge thanks to John Aldi for everything that you do. And remember, Tanya's our favorite Aldi.
That's right. Although I got to say, it's the best damn beard care product in the world. I use it every day. So, yeah, good stuff.
If I start bathing, I'll use it too.
It might be good for that.
Even if you don't, it might freshen you up a little bit, brother. It's good.
Right.
It's good stuff, yeah. All right, so question number one. I'm the random guy. Charles gets a little deep. So what is your least favorite sound?
Least favorite sound. Probably clicking noises.
Okay. I was gonna give you some people get freaked out by it because yeah. Okay.
I hate clicking noises. I love feedback. I love dissonance and discord note sounds, but I hate clicking.
We've had everything from
the people
puking dogs to crying babies, but I've never heard clicking noises. That's a new one. Awesome.
As somebody who listens to podcasts 90% of his day, and when you have earbuds in all day long And when people talk and they have a natural click to their talk, I have to turn that podcast off.
I get that. So
All right. So question number 2, fill in the blank for me. Cigars are all about what?
boobies.
Yes.
I'm going with first thing that comes into my head. So
I love
no
it. Let's do
rationale.
it. Please
Charles,
keep
you
going
know
with
what?
this concept.
You know what question's coming now. I have to.
No,
All right.
no.
I have. Yeah, I have to. I mean, honestly, I can only get away with it with like 1 in 10 people, so I have to do it. All right. So not
Question
yet.
number 3.
Not yet, but it's coming. All right. So what is your favorite musical band or artist? I need something to put our promos to for after we have the show. So like, what is your favorite musical band or artist? And I'll put some songs out there.
Currently, you want current or all time?
I'd say all time. How about you give me 2, man? We
Okay.
do at least three to 4 posts after the show. So give me 3 or 4, whatever you got.
So the Boss is one of my favorites, like just all time, right? But currently I would say Hot Water Music, which like they're not a new band to me, but like I've been jamming out to them.
Okay. Cool. I got you.
All right. So question number 4, what is your favorite guilty pleasure?
Masturbation. For sure.
All right, Mick, you've got full reign. Sorry. You're good.
I'm gonna go with that as my question number 7. So question number 5. What is the weirdest food you've ever eaten? Because I need to know the answer to this one too.
Cockle shells, I think they're called. Or like I was in Spain in this market and there was like these tanks of like I don't know, like kind of barnacles, and you just like bite the piece, and then there was another tank of these like worms, and they would serve it like spaghetti, but they're like sea worms, and I'll try anything. So like that was by far the weirdest experience I ever had eating, both which I hated very much.
Okay, but you tried it, so that's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So question number 6, what is the one thing in your life that you're most proud of?
Well, I raised a human that's a pretty cool person, and she functions in society pretty well. So I'm going to take that as my my biggest victory.
I feel
not like I take all the credit for it, but you know.
All right, so we ready for question number 7?
Yes.
All right. So would you rather?
No.
Would you rather jerk off a silverback gorilla or be jerked off by a silverback gorilla?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Have him jerk me off. Yeah, like because I mean the thing is,
that's dangerous, man. It's dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous. But I like a little fear. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like I like a little. It's excitement. If I'm just doing it to him, then I'm having to do all the work. At least like if it's like I might die, I might lose my penis, but you know what? I'm along for the ride. Like I just think that like
virtual fist bump. That's awesome. Man.
It could be the best thing ever. You never know. I don't know what the palm of a gorilla feels like.
I hear it's velvety. I don't know. That's what I hear.
Even better.
I know.
Yeah, mine's gonna seem so like underwhelming compared to this. So I mean,
what's your favorite day of the week?
So mine was going into somebody who has gone through working for a lounge into a startup brand, into a brand that has gotten well known, into starting your own brand and getting out there. All these new brands that are starting up right now, because over the last couple of years, there have been so many new brands hit the market. If you could give anybody any advice, unsolicited advice, what would it be?
It would be the same exact thing that right after I had called Booth and told him, he mailed me this package, and I opened up the package and he said, "Don't do it." That's what my package said. And he was like, "Jeremy, you know better. Don't do this." And I did it. Right. And I am doing it, but I would like, you know, good Lord, talk about like, I wouldn't really say that to someone that wants to start something that they're passionate about, but like, you know, it's, I have 20 plus years of experience, and like, and I'm not saying it to toot my horn. What I'm saying is like, it is a grind right now to get cut through anything. And talk to guys and they're like, "So what do you do?" I was like, "Nothing. There's no way you can get in this industry. You're not going to jump in both feet and just force it to work. Like, no relationships, like, you know, much good stuff out there to cut. You have to be all in. If you're doing it on the weekend, like, get out. It you know, it's not going to be fruitful for you. There's my pessimism.
I agree. Just on this side, man, and we're just having fun, enjoying time with guys like yourself, and it's a fucking grind, man. It's a second job, and that's what we do. You know, it's just because we love the industry and we love the people in it. So I feel you 100%, man.
I will say
so
that, you know, we do love the industry, but I think what we have fallen in love with is the passion and conviction behind the brands that are coming up right now, who are busting their ass trying to get their names out there, and not, you know, they're not the heritage brands that are producing 1 million cigars a year and 37 different new brands every PCA.
Yeah.
It's the guys who are out here killing it every day, you know, suffering from not seeing their kids, their families. And it's not like they got 700 sales reps doing the job for them. They are their sales rep.
Yeah. I mean, I've had people be
that.
like, "Yo, you're just doing this yourself." And I'm like, until I can't do it myself. Yeah. You know, it's like, you know, and I have some brokers, you know, at this point, but yeah, but I think that's true for anything, right? If you're going to do it half-assed, then you can't expect it to be like, it's like me playing shows and thinking that some like talent buyer is going to show up at some small bar, you know, with 15 people there and go, "Oh my God, I want to sign these guys." Like, it's just work. Like, it's just grinding and getting it. You know, 2 years ago, I was at the show and I had a booth right next to me of a new brand, and they were gone the next year. They're already out. Like, it's brutal. You know what I mean? Like, but there's still opportunity. You know, it's just you got to grind. That's it.
You have to pay the price to play the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every person we see that's actually making it and making a name for themselves is putting in the sweat equity every fucking week. So it's awesome, man. All right. So this is my only question. It kind of gets deep. It's hard to come back from after question number 7. But if you could have a cigar with any person you love, or any person dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Mark Twain. He was a cigar smoker, so like, but I also like, he's kind of one of the first authors I cut my teeth on that I fell in love with as a writer, and his short stories and just all those like quotes. And I think he would be a super, like, I have a picture of him on my wall wearing, like, with a cigar, wearing a full white suit, like he's like Colonel Sanders, and he's holding a cat. It's the most random, but I just feel like I just want to sit with this guy and like have a conversation. I think it'd just be hilarious.
Awesome.
It'd be great.
Awesome, man. Hell yeah.
So my last question is my favorite one. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Good Lord. Now you went with one that it's like actually requires some deep thought. You know, I understood the parameters and liked the Gorilla, but this one, you know, I don't know where I heard it, but I think it's more of like if you're going to do something, you know, like I've had friends be like, you know, like do what you want to do, like that you're passionate about, right? Like I play music. I still play in a band, not a touring band, not anything, but I do it because I love playing, right? I make cigars because I love making products and I love like creating things. And so, I mean, just, I don't know who said it, if it was from a movie, a friend or whatnot, but just like, you know, like, do what you're passionate about. And like, even if it doesn't make you a ton of cash, you're happy at least because you're doing something you love. So that would be my answer for that.
Awesome. So I will say huge thanks for jumping on here. There's got to be plenty of places that sell your cigars. Let everybody know where they can find your cigars, where they can find you on any social media, where they can find your brand online. Let everybody know where they can get a hold of Wildfire Cigars.
So social media is just Wildfire Cigars, right? Whether it's Facebook or Instagram, and pretty regular on that. You can come by, say hello, you know. The wildfirecigars.com is the website if you want to get more insight into like the blends and the tobacco and all that. That's there. As far as retailers, I had an active list on the website, but because of things to come, it's not on there right now. But if you Google, there are plenty of guys. I mean, like Cigar Vault Oakdale, right? Like they support.
I was about to say, so let's just say go to Cigar Vault Oakdale.
Yeah, go there and support rad guys and kind and have been supportive of my brand. So like support.
And use code RealSmoke. Just saying.
Let me jump in here real quick. So when we reached out to Norm, we're like, hey, we got like 1 or 2 open shows for the year yet. Who should we get on? And you were his first person that he said about. So, I mean, props to Norm, props to Miguel, man. Those guys are just amazing. They've been huge supporters of us since probably I don't know, Charles, within our first 2 to 3 months of starting this. They have been our title sponsor, and they're just helping us every step of the way, and we're trying to give that love back to them. So, anyway,
yeah, I liked that ad at the beginning. In the beginning, I was like, "Oh, check that out!" Like they got a promotional spot. I'm like, "That's rad." Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because they're a relatively newer account for Wildfire, so it's been cool that like they dove in, you know, like, and I have appreciated that because we.
Cigar Vault as well as Real Smoke celebrated their 1-year anniversary within few days of each other. We're about the same age.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool. So yeah, go to.
All right. So, is there anything that we did not touch on? Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, man. Honestly, yeah. What Charles was gonna say. If there's anything else that we didn't touch on that you want to hit on is great. But I also want to say, like I said earlier, man, you got an open window with us. Like wherever you want to post something, promote something, do something, like let us know, man. You're part of the family now. We love growing this community, and we love what you're about. You have a great sense of humor, and obviously you care about what you're doing, and that's what we're about 100%, man. We want to grow that community and get people smoking your fucking cigars, man. That's what it's all about. So let's tell everybody where you're at, and I'd like anything else that we can promote for you. And honestly, like I said, man, you got an open line with us anytime, and please reach out.
Yeah, no, I will kind of leave it with January. We're gonna have a very fun, it doesn't have to be, you know, a long format thing, but I think it'll be a fun way of like, just, you know, to kind of what's going down. And I'm excited for this next year. And like, I hope people will be excited once they know what we're doing. So, you know, just try the cigars. If you find one you like, then sweet, you know. If not, smoke someone else's cigar. Just smoke a cigar.
There you go. There you go. Well, thanks so much for jumping on here. We appreciate it, and we've had a blast tonight. It was great to get to know you and great to hear about the journey that you took into where you're at now. And we will be in touch with you next week or into this week, and we'll get something set up for January, and we'll do a short form kind of podcast and let you come on here and blow the top off of the cigar game. So that's awesome.
Sounds good.
All right. You have a great night. Thank you so much.
You got it.
See you, man. And there we go. Just like that, episode 49 is in the books with the one and only Jeremy McDonald with Wildfire Cigars. What'd you think, bro?
That was fun, man. That was fun. That was a really good 49. It's not going to be quite as fun as episode 50, but it's been really, really fun. I honestly,
episode 50 is going to be insane, and not in all the ways that I'm excited for.
You should be. It's going to be a great night.
Hey guys, really quickly, make sure you put in the chats right now. Hashtag RealSmoke. We're about to go ahead and draw our prizes here in a minute. We do have a cigar review to do really quickly, as well as prizes, and then some Meanwhile in Memphis. So we're going to breeze right through those. But go ahead and get in your hashtags RealSmoke in the comments. So, really quickly, episode 50.
Yeah, man. You dig it for info?
So,
or what?
I do know that next week we are on a bye week. We are taking the week off. I will be out of town, maybe, possibly, could be. We are taking a week off. We haven't taken a week off in a while. We kind of need. I need a week off. I need a week off. I am taking a week off of. I'm taking a week off. TriStar Herf. I'm also taking a week off the podcast. I need a week to reconnect with my wife because, bro, it's needed. But we are going to come back with episode 50, number freaking 50, and it's going to be on my actual birthday. So it's going to be Mick's title was the Real Smoke Roast. I don't know what that's going to consist of, but I do know that I am so glad that I'm the producer of the show. So if it goes bad, all I got to do is start clicking people out of here. That's see, I have that comfort. If it was any other way, I'd be like, I don't know what's going to happen, but all I got to do is hit a button and you're gone. Peace out.
You know, the fun
awesome.
The fun thing is for me is that your wife knows more about it than you do. And we've been talking for months.
Oh,
so
she's been laughing at me anytime that episode is brought up. She just looks at me and laughs, and it's like, "Oh, you evil woman, you evil woman! I know you got something planned,
bro." I think you know that I wouldn't set you up for failure, and I don't think you're gonna hit the cancel button. It's gonna be a good time.
I don't think we're gonna be set up for failure. I just don't know what we're being set up for. All right. So our next thing that we have going on is going to be our cigar review. So let's see if I can actually do this. Okay. Our cigar review is brought to you by Cigar Army, and they have a special news or some special news for you.
Hello, everyone. This is Coop and Pugs from Cigar Army, and we're here to announce our annual Toys for Tots fundraiser raffle, which will be kicking off in November. In the meantime, we are accepting donations of cigars and or cigar-related items or swag for the raffle.
This year, on December 13th, Cigar Army will be hosting an event at Brothers of the Leaf in New Windsor, New York. On the day, we will also be doing the live raffle from that location. Details are to come as Cigar Army is still finalizing all the details.
Once again, we'd like to thank Brothers of the Leaf and our brothers at Real Smoke Podcast for their continued support. Thank you.
Love it.
So huge thanks to Coop and Pugs. My favorite thing is to understand and know that they are so uncomfortable doing this.
They hate it. They hate it
So much. This is, we have been trying to get them to do a full-blown ad for us so we don't have to do, what we do. And it's like, yeah, we'll get something to you. And then it's like, hey, you got something important coming up. And they're like, okay, we'll get you something. And it's like I can feel their anxiety coming through. Like, I don't want to be on here, but we need to talk about this. It's like Forrest Gump.
I know Pugs hates technology more than I do, but man, just watching them on film, like they did a great job, and the video was awesome. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more. Like, honestly, we have a lot of connections here. I'm gonna actually send out a message here really soon and tag a bunch of the people that we've grown connections with over time here. I'm gonna send a message out on Instagram probably this weekend. I actually have off Monday, so that's awesome. I'll send a message out, and I want to send something out just saying, hey, if you guys can donate to this, donate to it, because these guys are doing absolutely the right thing and really giving back to the community. And everything they do is just another step towards who we should be as humans in society.
All right, Real Smoke family, being real with you guys. Whether you're a brand owner, a accessories owner, or a club member, whether you're a club member with any of our clubs, TriStar, Cigar Army, whoever, do us a favor. Donate something to them, whether it's $5, whether if you're a brand, donate some cigars to raffle off, an accessory owner, donate an accessory to raffle off. Do something. Because, I mean, they are donating, all their stuff is being donated to Toys for Tots. It's kids who don't have anything, who's lost everything. I mean, if you can't give back to kids, come on. So, we give Coop and Pugs shit all the time. But to be serious about it, help out. I mean, It's not going to some random dude smoking a cigar. It's going to kids. So let's all get together. Let's do what the cigar industry does. Let's do what cigar clubs do. Let's do what cigar podcasts do. Let's give back to the people who need without reservation. Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, just do it. That's kind of the thing of the night. But those guys are amazing. Support them any way you can. All right, so cigar 100%. Review. Cigar review.
Woohoo!
Yeah. All right, so aroma from the body. I got hay, barnyard, a little bit of like floral notes. Aroma from the foot, natural sweetness, light cocoa, hay. Taste from the cold draw. I got the natural tobacco sweetness, maybe a little bit of raisin, light cocoa, and a touch of cinnamon. First third notes, I got nutty. It's definitely an almond, more almond than anything. Cream, leather, cinnamon, black pepper. There's a subtle floral note on the back end. Retro, I got light black pepper and that raisin sweetness. Second, third notes, roasted almond, creamy, leather. There's still a touch of cinnamon. Light floral, earthy notes. Retro, I got black pepper and again that raisin sweetness. Final third notes, I got like a trail mix, kind of nutty, a little bit salty. Still that creamy sweetness. Leather. Baking spices. Earthy. Woodsy. Retro. Light black pepper. And I got a heavy floral note towards the end. The final third by far kicked up, and it was my favorite part of the cigar. Final third was awesome. I had 2 touch-ups, a little wavy, nothing crazy. So overall, I gave it a pre-lit experience of an 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, I gave it 13 out of 15. Construction characteristics, 27 out of 20, or sorry, out of 30. Smoke production and final thoughts, I gave it 31 out of 35. I gave it an 89.
All righty. So Rob wants to say he jumped on late. He wants to know the name of the cigar that we're smoking.
Yep, I don't remember again. Artois. Nope, that's wrong. Artorias.
Nope. It has nothing to do with twat.
RT. Hang on. It's the Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It starts
okay.
with an A.
So it's about a bear. It's one of them bars. All right. So here we go. Aroma off the body, musty tobacco and chocolate. Aroma off the foot, prune, sweet tobacco. Aroma off the cold draw, tobacco and dried fruit or dark fruit. First third notes on the light notes of hickory, black pepper, earth into the first notes of earthy, musty oak, black pepper, salted cracker, and a sour cream, sweet tart note on the finish. Retro is cinnamon, earth, and a floral note. Burn is wavy, need to be touched up. Ash is messy. Draw is a little tight. Smoke is thick and chewy. Strength is about a medium plus. Into the second third, notes of coffee, cream, oak, dark chocolate, slight salty. The retro is earth, floral, nutty, and cocoa. The burn is good. Ash is a little flaky. Smoke is thick and chewy. Finish is long and sweet and a little salty. Strength is about a medium full. In the final third, coffee, earth, dark chocolate, and a bready note. Retro is coffee, dark chocolate, and a sweet note. Burn is straight. Ash is still the same. Draws good, slightly tight. Smoke is thick and flavorful. Finish is the same, full in strength. So it would. I put on there full in strength. It's not full. It's like medium plus full. So, I will give it pre-light experience 18 out of 20. Enjoyment, flavor enjoyment, I gave it a 14 out of 15. Smoking construction, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Draw, 9 out of 10. Burn, 9 out of 10. Smoke production and texture, 5 out of 5. Overall experience, an 18 out of 20. Would I smoke it again? Yeah, I'd buy a box of this one. So my score is a 91. So if you take that and you take Mick's score and you take my score, Mick, would you give it?
I gave it an 89.
89. And you put my 91, it gives it a 90. So Real Smoke Podcast gives the cigar that Mick cannot pronounce a 90 from Wildfire Cigars. So I like it. It's good.
Yeah. No, it was definitely solid, man. I enjoyed it. That final third was awesome. I wish I had a little more of that in the second, maybe the first third, but it was awesome. That third was amazing. Really good work.
That third. Giving that third. Let's give it some of that third. All right, so we got some prizes to give away. So we're going to run the ad for our prizes. Our prizes are brought to you by Brooders Cigar Accessories. So you have exactly 60 seconds to go ahead and post in #RealSmoke, and you have to be live to win. We'll go over those things in here in a minute. But huge thanks to our sponsor for our prizes tonight, Brooders Cigars.
Listen up, Earth heads. is if your cutter feels like a toy and your gear's got no soul, it's time to level up. Bruder Cigar Accessories, 100% American-made. Veteran-owned, built like a tank, passed down like a rifle. This ain't mass-produced junk. It's the Heirloom Collection. Precision-built with Grade 5 titanium, magnetic steel blades, magnetic action, and inlays so clean they'll make your humidor blush. Check out the Heirloom Ambassador, a semi-custom, raw titanium, anodized finished cutter with exotic woods like Purple Heart and Bolivian rosewood. Or the Heirloom Elite, a fully customizable cutter with Cerakote, abalone, two-tone layouts, every detail dialed in. Each piece is serialized, built with pride, made to outlive you. So if you're tired of plastic cutters and flimsy lighters, go check out Bruders. Hit their website. Get something that matches your smoke game. Bruders, where legacy meets grit.
Bro,
Go ahead.
I sent those to you 20 minutes before we went live. Like, what the fuck? I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. How did you pull that off, man? That's impressive. That's awesome.
I told you I was stressed before when we were in the green room. I was a little bit stressed. I was working hard to get
before we went live.
I actually, you sent me that while I was driving in my car, and I was sitting in my car, and my wife was standing outside of my car going, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm editing a video just to get this shit out here real quick." And she's like, "Okay, cool." So I sat in my car and did that. How many times come on, how many times have you pulled into the driveway and just sat there for a few minutes and like just chilled? I was sitting there. I was going through all of my like editing stuff. It's like, this is not going to be the best edit ever, but it's going to be something. So
I'm fucking impressed because David and Michael sent me that maybe 45 minutes before the show. And I said, there's no way we're getting this on the show tonight. I will get it. I will try for next week or for our next show. And I was impressed. So, bravo.
Hence,
you win again.
Hence why you get the message that they need to send this stuff in horizontal format because this shit sucks. So
it'll be better next time. Absolutely. Awesome work, man. I'm impressed.
All right, so let me go ahead and get everything set up. Yeah, my computer is like, you guys know my computer. You guys have been here long enough to know that my computer sucks ass. Share screen. By the way, Mick, go ahead and give all the stuff, all the stuff that people whine about that they can't do or they're not here or.
All right. So if you won last week, it is the second show in October. If you won last week, you cannot win again this week from Cigar Vault Oakdale. If we have any other prizes, which we do not tonight, you could be eligible for those. But Cigar Vault Oakdale, if you won last week, you can't win again this week. If you don't see your name, StreamYard has said that you are absolutely in there 100% if you used hashtag RealSmoke. Good luck. And let the force be with you.
And let the force be with you. All right, so I have on here that last week Mike and Tony won. Tony, back it up. Okay, sorry. That's Terry. My bad. So Mike and Tony were the ones who won last week. So, and if you can't hear, I have a 90-pound German Shepherd that's just barking at freaking horses. Why is she barking at horses? They live together. She lives right next to like two horses that's in our pasture. She's just looking at them, barking at them because she's like, hey, it's 10 o'clock at night. I want to bark at you. She's being her. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel. Make sure you're live. You're going to have about 30 Mick seconds. What do we constitute as a Mick second? We don't know. It's when Mick says it's 30 seconds. Yeah, it may be 25 seconds, maybe 45 seconds. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever. So here we go. So both of these are two $25 gift cards to the Cigar Vault, not Beard Apothecary, the Cigar Vault, because I always mess that up. So here we go. And our winner is hologram.
But
You
besides
better not be
cigars-
in here. You better be in
besides
here. Better be
cigars-
in here. I'm saying both of them.
Besides Cigars with Angels, Hologram wins the most prizes from us for sure.
Hologram says he is not here.
Cool. Hey, side note while you're writing that down, how do you feel about aging room cigars? I think you're muted or something.
I have one the other night. It was okay.
Was it the one out of the smoking box?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm enjoying this one right now, and I know it's a box press, but I don't know what it is with me in box press, but I'm enjoying this cigar. It's good.
The one from the smoke-in cigar box I did enjoy. I will say it's not something that I didn't like, but it wasn't something that like made me go, "Oh my god, I have to smoke everything from them." But it was an enjoyable cigar.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm enjoying it right now. So yeah, I was just curious.
Nice. By the way, we haven't put them on there tonight, and we should. But go check out Cigar In's Cigar of the Month Club, Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club.
Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club.
Yeah, I do believe this is probably one of our last months sponsoring or getting sponsored by
probably.
them. But yeah, I mean, I guess we shall see. But go check them out. Go to Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club. Go ahead and sign up with them. I will say, out of all the cigar clubs that are out there, they are very consistent on having some of the best newer cigars that are coming out. You can see the price there. You see the code there. Use RS New. You get a cigar torch and a cutter, a perfect cutter. Go check them out. It is very, I mean, Mick and I both are very much getting their cigars right now. It's a great deal. I mean, it's a whole lot better than most of the other ones that I've seen. So go ahead and do that.
Absolutely. Really good cigar month club. Five great cigars every month, and it's all, for the most part, it's boutique stuff that is really worth smoking.
Now, before I do the last winner, I do have to do this. I mean, we just said go get their Cigar of the Month Club. It's a great club to be in that comes to you every month. But it is my birthday month. I'm just saying. And we do have a deal with Cigar Vault. Let me tell you how lucrative this deal is. Let me tell you how much money we make off this deal. We make so much. We don't make a dime. We make zero. So we have actually partnered up with Cigar Vault. They are a sponsor, but we want to be able to bring cigars that we love to you guys. So because this month is my birthday month, we are doing the Real Smoke Podcast October 5-pack. These are 5 cigars that I absolutely love and enjoy. Crown Heads Broadway, one of my favorite ones from Crown Heads. Street Taco Carnitas. That is the cigar that was the breakaway cigar for me when I got into real cigars that weren't flavored. Cavalier limited edition 2025. If you didn't hear from the podcast, I am a huge fan of Cavalier. I have a personal relationship with the people at Cavalier. Love them. They're family to me. The Knuckle Sandwich Maduro. fanboying out over Guy, but loved his cigars that he puts out. And then the Patina Sumatra. I absolutely enjoyed and loved Patina cigars. I fell in love with the cigar line when I smoked the Sumatra. So, guys, there are 5 of these 5-packs available at Cigar Vault. Go use the code RealSmoke. You're going to save and get a lot off of it. Go check them out. Get rid of all 5 of our 5-packs in the next 24 hours. Do that for my birthday. I appreciate it. So, anyways, let's go into the last winner. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. And hopefully it's not somebody who's been on here 27,642 times, but we shall see. Hologram, congratulations. We weren't talking about you when I said that.
Who we got?
And if we couldn't get to somebody who was just as famous on here, the Mash Bill. Holy hell. We have all these new people on here, and we get the same ones. But congratulations.
Hey,
love it.
Congrats.
We're just giving you shit. Mash Bill says he is here, but he wants to give it to somebody else. He didn't say that. I'm just saying it for him.
I actually looked up. I actually looked up like it was going to happen, but yeah, congrats, Mash Bill. I mean, you guys are dedicated followers. You guys are here every week. We do appreciate it, but man, all these new viewers. I want to get some new people involved with Cigar Vault. I mean, that's what we do. But here we are.
I will say this: I am torn between it because we have so many people who are constant people on here every week, but they win every week. Why is it that they win every week? Because they're on here.
They're here every week.
Do I want new people to win? Yeah, I want to reward people for being on here. But I also want to say thank you to, the people who follow us. I mean, you
100%.
win every week because you're on here all the fucking time. So we like to give you hell. We want to bust your balls a little bit. But guess what? We do love you and we appreciate you. So, Cigars, Christy says, go Birds. And by birds, you mean falcons. You don't mean those eagles, right?
Oh, yeah. Go Falcons. Phillies lost, by the way. They suck.
I like this one. Smoking Samsa says, do a hashtag newbie for a prize. Maybe next week we'll do a real smoke, and then I'll go in there, and if you've never won before, I will type in hashtag newbie, and you will have a chance to win the next one. I love this idea. We will work for this one in 2 weeks.
I like it. I like where your head's at.
We will do this in 2 weeks. Yep, we're going to do it.
Making a note as we.
So Christy says Eagles.
Yeah.
Do they have a team? Who do they play for?
Besides Saquon. Blah. Yeah.
I mean, Barkley is kind of okay. When are we going to get some hat giveaways again? I actually went to post that one out. I have 3 hats to give away. The only reason that I haven't been giving out hats in a while, I just haven't had time to even sit down and actually deal with it. I have 3 hats to give away. We will, you know what? I will start that next week. We will go ahead and we will give away a hat from Katie Cigars next week. Then we'll do one from 13 Knives. So we will get that back in there. I'm sorry. I know people will like that one. We just didn't have many people jump on it. But we do have 3 hats to give away. I will start on that one here in a week or so. So thanks for mentioning that.
Hey, so last time we Fig Jam. Is that supposed to be that way? Or is it
I don't know what Fig Jam is, but
me neither. But okay. Now I'm reading. I was just gonna say real quick. Back to your
wait. Did Philly lose?
Yeah, the Phillies did. Yeah, to the Dodgers. Yeah, it's over.
Did they? Oh my God! I was keeping up with it and even putting it in there. And when we got busy, where I had to start pushing buttons again, I didn't get a chance to look. What was the final score?
2-1. 2-1 and 11.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was gonna break in and say fuck the Phillies and get pissed off and throw shit, but yeah, it's all good, man. It's now hockey season. It's all right.
So baseball season is officially over for both of us, huh?
It is. Yeah.
That's
I will
sad.
say real quick. Yeah, and the Phillies had a great season, but the season doesn't matter if you can't perform in the playoffs. They didn't hit 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4 games. 3 out of 4 games they played, they did not hit. When your starting pitcher only gives up 1 run, you have no excuse for not winning a fucking game. So they're paying close to $1 billion over the next 8 years for players that can't hit a fucking ball in the postseason. So yeah, I'm a little frustrated, but I'm not going to let that influence our great time we're having together. So yeah.
Well, I will say that I even messaged Mick early in the week and said, I'm not a Phillies fan, but my favorite Braves player of all time left or got traded from the Braves to the Phillies. I hate seeing, my arch nemesis is frickin' Brian Harper, and he wears freaking number 3.
Bryce Harper. Yeah.
Bryce Harper. Yeah. I don't care. That's how much I like him. But that was Dale Murphy's number when he was there and when he was with the Braves.
Yeah.
So the freaking fact that he wears that number is a disgrace. I'm just saying. But it was one of those, they're in our league. If I was going to root for anybody, I told Mick that I was going to root for them. And if they ended up making the series, I already sent him the image of the hat that was in my cart that it was a black on black Phillies hat. I was going to root for him. You would never see me any other time do that. But the fact that they lost, I'm done with baseball for the year. I'm done.
Yeah, me too.
I'm over.
I
don't care who plays in the series. I might watch it. I don't care.
Bryce Harper, $300 million plus over, I don't know, 8 years, 10 years, and he went one for fucking like 21 in the series. Like, stop it. Like, you can't. Like, why? I don't know. It's frustrating. Freddie Freeman.
See, the hard part is realizing how well Harper did last year. I mean, I was in Charleston. I was sitting in the cigar lounge. They closed the doors, locked the doors, and me and the guy running the place, me and Jennifer and the guy running the place, was literally watching the game until it ended and watching them kick the Braves out and watching how good Harper did last year and then seeing how bad he did in the postseason this year.
Yeah.
He literally had the worst postseason that he's ever had.
Yeah. Not even close. And he's supposed to be the heartbeat of that fucking organization right now. And I love what he stands for. I love how he plays, but man, his batting, it was horrendous this year. I honestly wonder if he's not dealing with some kind of injury that they're not talking about, because he is not himself at all this postseason. So I don't know. We'll see what comes out later, but it's just weird.
Well, let's get into some happy notes before we end the podcast. We do have some Meanwhile in Memphis. Wait, Meanwhile in Memphis, happy notes? I don't know if that's happy notes.
I got
all right. So, anyways,
good stories tonight. 4.
Let's do it. Meanwhile in Memphis is brought to you by Haze Gray Cigars, some of the best cigars out there on the market and some of the best people in the world. We love Haze Gray Cigars.
Some carry their story in their hands. Others roll it into every leaf. Born from service, forged in loyalty, built on brotherhood. This isn't just another cigar. This is Haze Gray veteran-owned, battle-tested, crafted to honor those who served. And the bonds that never break. From the flight deck to your lounge. Haze Gray Cigars brings the experience to you. Strength, camaraderie, tradition. Haze Gray Cigars, we got your sticks.
So huge thanks to Haze Gray Cigars for being out there for us. We absolutely love it, and we love you guys for doing it. So a little bit of Meanwhile in Memphis. Are you ready for some Meanwhile in Memphis? I think he's frozen. That scares me. Why is he frozen?
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis. Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and bulls running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while.
It's all you, dude. Meanwhile in Memphis.
Dude, I froze like 3 times. I don't know what happened there. Am I live right now? Am I moving?
You are.
Okay.
Do I need to play the Meanwhile in?
Nope. I just missed it. As long as everybody else got it, we're good.
Wait.
Fuck.
Hey, let's calm down. Let me play you some music that makes you feel at home. Are you ready?
I'm ready now. Let's go. You got a little of that Hawk Dewey?
No, I was playing Police Sirens and Gunshots.
No. I thought you maybe had a little bit of that. Okay, never mind. All right. So, little follow-up. There it is. All right, so a little follow-up on last week. You remember last week they opened up the Memphis Task Force last week. So far, in less than a week, they have 562 arrests, and they seized 144 illegal firearms in less than a week.
That's
U.S.
a few
Attorney
guns.
That it is 144 and 562 arrests. That's pretty impressive. U.S. Attorney Pam Bondi said yesterday, that the Memphis Safe Task Force has arrested 562 people and has seized 144 illegal firearms since operations started less than 10 days ago. Bondi made an announcement on Twitter, adding that federal law enforcement officers continue to do heroic work. The announcement came a day before the National Guard. So the National Guard isn't even technically here. It was the Memphis Safe Task Force, so like the DEA and FBI and everybody came in like a week ahead of them. So the National Guard is not even here. We're up to close to 600 arrests and 150 firearms. It's pretty impressive. National Guard is expected to arrive in Memphis this week, said State Senator Corey Harris. Said the guardsmen would serve and support non-law enforcement roles such as community safety patrols, traffic patrol, site security, and assisting in local law enforcement, but not replacing them. So just an update from last week. There's a lot of shit going on, and apparently a lot of people have been already arrested and firearms seized. So good stuff. So the only reason I put this second story in here tonight is because I love the title of the story. Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty released from prison, attorney confirms. I really don't even have to go into this because I just wanted to say Pooh Shiesty. I just wanted to say Pooh Shiesty on the air.
She said.
I mean,
That's what she said.
Who names himself Pooh Shiesty? I mean, you got anything for that, man? I don't know.
I'm just saying that he's probably a hardcore kind of criminal. I'm not so rough around the edges, and I would just like to say that my new name is Winnie the Pooh Shiesty.
I'm gonna call you that on Saturday, Winnie the Pooh Shiesty. I
am. So I'm just gonna say, Winnie, throwing up the hand signs. Winnie the Pooh, Shiesty. There we go.
I got it.
Just saying.
I'm calling you out Saturday. So Pooh Shiesty was sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison in a Miami federal court in 2022. Good time. Got him out a little bit early. His lawyer says that he's always happy to see his clients released from prison a little bit earlier than they should have been. And he's back in the studio making music again. So congrats to Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty. I just want to say it one more time.
Yo, Pooh. I got your Winnie, the Pooh Shiesty. Just saying, bruh.
I can't. Pooh Shiesty. What fucking rapper names himself that? All right, so I you know,
I don't
as
know.
always,
I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling it.
I like to lead up to my best stories of the evening. So I got this one's all right. Shelby County Pretrial Services Supervisor help. I think I lost the light. Supervisor helps smuggle contraband into the jail. Shelby County says. So Shelby County employee helps smuggle contraband into the Shelby County jail, according to Shelby County Sheriff's Office. This 30-year-old, this woman, I'm not going to say her name, used her role as a pre-trial services supervisor to sneak contraband into 201 Poplar. People out on bond meet with pre-trial services while they wait their trial to go to trial, or wait their case to go to trial. The contraband investigation started with an inmate, and detectives had learned that he had been working with a woman to obtain and deliver contraband, according to Shelby County. The Shelby County office said that the detective searched this woman's home and found a small amount of marijuana, along with additional evidence that supported her alleged role to smuggle drugs into the operation. Her jail access has been revoked, and she was indicted on 2 counts of bringing contraband into a penal institution and 1 count of official misconduct. So she is a supervisor with pretrial services, and she's smuggling drugs into the jail. Great stuff.
She brought it into what kind of institute?
A penal. Penal.
Oh, okay.
Yes, penal.
Penal.
So this is my favorite story of the evening, and these I think I've had like 5 of these so far. So, Dollar General employee arrested. Dollar General manager accused of stealing more than $12,000. Memphis, Tennessee. A Dollar General manager is in jail after stealing more than $12,000 from a store safe.
Dang it,
according to MPD. This woman was arrested on Monday and charged with theft of property between $10,000 and $60,000. MPD says they responded to the Dollar General store on East Holmes Road at 11:19 p.m. on October 5th. One of the managers at the store told police that she and another employee had closed the store due to a power outage when she noticed that the safe was missing a large amount of money. Here's where it gets good. Detectives verified that the following deposit bags were missing from October 2nd, totaling $2,544.38. Another bag from October 3rd, totaling $2,828.37, and one from October 4th, totaling $4,531.85. There was one more bag that was somehow missing from October 5th that totaled $2,682.28. The manager then told police that the store manager that only the store managers have access to the safe, and that she and the woman accused was the only store managers on at the time. Investigators say that a regional loss prevention manager tracked down the deposit bags, which led them to the woman's address. The police brought her in for questioning, and they say she admitted to taking money from the business on multiple occasions in the past, but it was not in October. She took money 3 to 4 times per month from the stores, but it was not from October, so this definitely wasn't her.
That's what she said.
So she admitted to taking money pretty much every month since she worked there, but definitely not from October. Not from October.
Listen.
It was not her.
It wasn't me. I have taken money every month for the last year, but this month I did not do it. It was not me. I promise. You can trust me. I'm being honest right now. I am a good person. I've taken money from every other month, but this month I didn't do it this month. You can trust me.
That's my favorite part. You killed it, man. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, who admits that and they say they didn't take it from October? Stop it. Yeah. So
I'd much rather say, okay, fuckers, I took it this month, but all the other those other ones, I don't know who did it, but it was me this month.
She admitted it for like 2 months on like 5 or 6 occasions, but did not admit to taking this. Stop it. Like, I just stop. Meanwhile, Memphis.
I was about to say, do you know what I have to say about that one?
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and poles running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while.
All you can do is just shake your head and go like, okay, cool, whatever.
Memphis. Crazy.
All right, so all of you ashtray Illuminati, I'm turning into Mick now. I can't even speak. Huge thanks to all of you for jumping on here tonight. We had a blast. Huge thanks to Jeremy for jumping on here. Again, it's been usually when we get people on here, it's people that I know about or know personally. And the last couple I'd know nothing about, and getting to know Jeremy, it was pretty cool. So I absolutely enjoyed that one. So we have the most important podcast next week. Actually, we don't. We're off next week. We have nothing next week. We're off next week.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
We have it. I will actually agree with what I just said. It is the most important podcast we have next week. It is a chance for us to just relax and recover and get back into like some kind of healthy kind of schedule and then get back into normal stuff. But in 2 weeks, we do have episode 50. And I'm not saying that I did not push and rearrange different dates to where we got it 50 on my birthday, but you know what? I did. I thought it was a cool number, cool birthday. It's not 50 for 50. I'm not turning 50. I may look like I'm over 50. Not happening. But in 2 weeks, next week we are off. I will do my best to post on there different episodes to watch. So I challenge people to go back and watch on Thursday. You know, make sure it's a great way that your wives know that you're not cheating. Go back and watch some other episode from the past. I challenge everybody to go back and watch episode number 1.
Ooh.
Next Thursday, go watch episode number 1 and put in the comments what is different. Let us know whether we've gotten better or worse at certain things, but let us know. I would be interested to see. I will actually push that out there. I will put the link in different, social media things. But go back and watch episode number 1. Would love to know what you guys think. And then when we come back on the 50th episode, which is my birthday podcast, Roast of Hell, that'll be a topic that we bring up is, just what was different. So next week we're off. The week after that is number 50.
Man, I could not be more excited for episode 50. Not just because it's your birthday, but like we
I bet.
Yeah, I'm serious. You're gonna be the same way in January, man. It's all good. But 50 to me, man. In literally like 60 months. Or sorry, 60 weeks. Jesus, I've been drinking.
I'm about to say 60 months. Holy God.
60 weeks, and we have like 50 episodes already. Like we've been pushing, man. And
we didn't take much time off this past year.
We have not. but it's a special episode for me too, man. It's going to end up being your favorite episode. I'll just put it that way. But I put some time into this, and I'm excited about it.
It'll be one of my favorite episodes because, you know, I was listening to people who actually do this for a living that are advisors. Their biggest thing is, you know, you don't start in anything whether on this kind of platform until you put out 100 or 100 videos. Well, we have put out over 100 videos, but over half of them are shorts.
Yeah.
So in my head, we are about to hit that halfway point. We're at 50.
Yeah.
And we did it in little over a year. I'm not saying that like, let's do more. I'm just saying it's taken a lot of commitment for us to get to where we're at. So, and a lot of changes. If you look at, if you look at the podcast from where we started to where we are now in a year, it's completely different.
Yeah.
But, and I'll say this, you know, I'll say this on the 50. The first 20 episodes would not have happened if it wouldn't have been for connections that we have made in the last few years before that. Because it wasn't people that we just was like, hey, would you like to be on here? It was friends of ours that we were like, hey, you kind of own a brand. We kind of know you. Would you do us this favor? And they did us a favor.
Yeah, and I'll say too, man. It's more. It was more you than me to start. I mean, but now we've kind of built this brand together, and I couldn't be happier being on a journey with you, man. It's been great, and I can't wait to see your reaction next week, man. I'm so excited to 2 weeks. I know we're off next week, but I can't wait for your birthday episode, man. It's gonna be something to remember. It's gonna be a great time. I think it's gonna be probably your favorite podcast for sure.
So going back into the chats before we jump off here, Shiesty Poo Poo Platter is it, or is it a splatter? That's nasty. Ice baby ice. Let's see. Reminds me of female sheriff that broke into that broke that dude out and went on the lam for quite a while. Yeah.
I agree.
It gets better. I'm not quite sure what he means by it gets better, but it probably does. It always gets better before it gets worse. It wasn't me. Sure. Yeah. I took the money, but not that money. I took some money, but not that money.
Yeah.
It was the mayor. It's always the mayor. Old Pooh Shiesty is hit. Okay, cool. Love it. Smoking Psalms, just laughy face. What am I meant to do next Friday? Friday at work now. It's Thursday. Get it right.
One.
I know you live like 27. Yeah. Listen to episode 1 and send us comments about what you think. We're Jersey and we know about the mayor. Okay, cool. I'll be listening to 50 in California. Nice.
Dude.
Uncle Donnie
so real
sent in
quick
help.
on real quick on Mark Smoking Psalms. Man, I can't wait. So Charles, inside joke here. Inside joke. So I all the stuff I've received for Mark's welcoming to the USA is now in a bag you may have brought to me at Zool.
Oh,
it's what I do. I recycle. It's what we do.
Ow, that's a lot of cigars.
Yeah, and it's going to be presented to him in a public setting like you did to me, asshole. But I love you. So,
yeah. So cool. Awesome. Well, Mark, we can't wait for you to get here into the States. I do know that Mick and Robert gets to meet up with you. I do hope that I get to. If I don't get to, we'll find a way some other time to do it. But I really do hope I get to. So huge thanks to Jeremy for jumping on here. Huge thanks for everybody who jumps on here every week. Congratulations to our winners, even though we give you shit. We do love you. We appreciate you. But if we didn't pick on you, you would think we were mad at you and we didn't like you. But huge thanks for everybody. Next week we are off doing a recovery week, a mental health week, and then we are back at it in 2 Thursdays for episode 50 for my birthday.
Oh yeah. Can't wait, man. No, for real.
Yep.
Thanks for everything, man. 49 in the books, as you always
49.
say. And we're
49.
We're excited for 50. I will see you Saturday, and take time this week, smoke a cigar with someone you love. I will do that on Saturday with you, and
yes,
we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great evening. We will see you in 2 weeks. Peace.
The smoke is thick, the air is tight, cigars are lit, oh what a sight. Pour the whiskey, tequila too, this one for Mick and Charles and you. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us so grin. You light